I don't know if the car in front of us is not maintained so much as it's old and rusty. But the one in front of us to the left, that Chevy Vet or whatever, the one that is... the
one that looks like it was falling off?
The one with the license plate falling off of the car was interesting.
Well, I can explain it. People have the same kind of thought, just like their bodies. If it still works, why do you have to spend time maintaining it? For instance, people, they just keep eating junk food, then they gain weight, or they find that they're not in the best physical shape. Instead of watching what they eat, instead of exercising, they say, why should I deal with it? I still can walk around. I'm still healthy. I can just buy bigger clothes. And I know it might be triggering to some people, but my whole thinking is that think of your body, think of your yourself as a vehicle. You feel better if you're in a nicer car, well-maintained car. And that's why sometimes you see people with really nice cars, right? They take a lot of pride into it. You know, they're probably washing their car every week, or alternatively, they go to one of those car washes where they sign up for a monthly unlimited membership of sorts, or those cars. You remember seeing some of those, right?
Even if you don't wash your car, and even if you have a car that's beat up in an old condition, having your license plate not hanging on by one screw to where it looks like it's going to fall off is just the basic thing that you can do to show that you have some level of respect for what it is that you own.
Yeah, but he's gonna say, I'm you know what it probably turned into? I'm too busy to maintain my car. I would...
So I could understand the argument, I'm too busy to wash it, or I'm not going to get something fixed because of a little dent in the bumper or some shit. Like, that makes sense to me. Especially if you know, if you bought your Berry Rachel mobile for, you know, $600 cash like Doug Stamper did, you're not going to care to do stuff like that. But license plate not hanging on by a thread is just like the most basic thing.
Yeah, they just don't care. I'm gonna say if they did not receive the car in that condition, actually I'll take it back. I would say that person probably doesn't maintain themselves very well, or the condition of their car is not too far off from the condition of other items that they own.
I hate this saying.
Lack of respect.
There's this saying that got used when I was a kid, that when I would ask, why are we doing this in school, this is useless, I'm never going to use this in real life, I'm never going to be asked to do this in real life, there was this argument that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So school is preparing you for the world. And I've always hated that argument, because to this day I still don't believe school has prepared me for jack shit, except for the prison that is the public education system. But how you do one thing in many ways kind of is how you do a lot of other things. Like if your license plate is hanging off your car because there's 4 screws required and you only have 1, and over the course of like 3 months you don't take the time to put the other screw in, I really kind of wonder what the rest of your life is going to be like.
Yeah. I think school prepares you not really for the world, but it prepares to be a good employee. Do your work, show up on time, shut up. Don't question your teacher.
I think that's so much of what I do in life seems to follow this thread of just not liking authority. Like, why do I ride an electric bike instead of get a motorcycle or take the train? When, like, I mean, I have the money to buy a motorcycle instead, or a Zero, instead of having an electric bike that I put together myself, because you're not supposed to. And it's more fun, you know? You get around having to deal with the DMV, you get around having to find parking in normal places like you would with the motors. Like, you get around all that miserable shit that you have to deal with. And you're not supposed to do it. Or like, why do I start a business instead of being an employee? Why is the business that I'm in a business where I do something that I'm not supposed to be doing? And you're not supposed to have access to a schematic. You're not supposed to be able to get LP133 WP1s for MacBook Airs. And I think that's part of why I never did well in school. I just don't like being told what to do. This is the way to do it. You will listen to me. I've just never been a It's weird because when I look, that one little personality thread seems to have defined so much of my life. And now, like, I'm an activist for this cause where you're doing something that you're, quote, not supposed to do. It all just comes back to that basic childish personality trait of not wanting to listen to my teacher.
You don't want to listen to an authoritarian dictate to you what can and cannot.
Authoritarian or authority? Because I kind of wonder. Like, I used to think I just don't like authoritarians, but maybe I just don't like authority in any form in general. Were you good in school as a kid?
Let's see. I was good in school, in college.
I was good in school from kindergarten, like through 5th grade. 6th and 6th, I was decent. 7th, okay. 8th grade, it kind of started to go downhill. And like by the time I had high school, I went from being a student that always got 95s to 100 in every class and everything to getting 60s and 70s.
Why?
I couldn't make the connection anymore. There was no connection in my head where me doing better here will lead to me having a better life, me being happier, me being more knowledgeable. Like, it all seemed useless. I couldn't make the connection.
Couldn't you say that you were setting yourself up for getting into a great college, but instead of continuing to work hard, for whatever reason, you just gave up and you said, well, I don't see a point, so I'm not going to try anymore. And that's the reason why, you know, if you wanted to get into a good college, you probably couldn't with the 60s or 70s.
Yeah, I got rejected from NYU. It's fun.
I don't think you would have got rejected if you continued to be an A student. Now, I don't know if you could have afforded it because NYU sounds very expensive. That's a whole different thing.
They had scholarships for people that were broke. But I just couldn't make the connection. Like, I'm going to have to, you know, I'm going to have to put in this much effort for the next 5 years. Why should I do that instead of just read shit on the internet that I'm interested in and engage? Like, I wanted to be a sponge. There was so much stuff that I wanted to learn about the world and soak up, and none of it had anything to do with school. I wanted to learn about the DMCA. I wanted to learn about, you know, I guess piracy culture on the internet, or I wanted to learn about technology. I didn't want to.
There's nothing wrong with learning as long as you use that information to make a career or some kind of monetization from it. And I say this because you got millions of people who are like, I don't want to go to college, I just want to be a gamer. I've known a few people like that. You know, they're trying to break out in the gaming sector, and as much as I want to tell them flat out, like, you're not going to make it. The freaking South Koreans are going to smoke your ass, and you're only gaming
South Koreans
2 or 3 hours a day. You're not gaming like or practicing in a league for 10, 12 hours. I mean, these are different, you know, this is a whole nother level. But sometimes people delude themselves and they say, well, if I just spend 2 to 3 hours a day, I'll be a superstar. It's a combination of skill, natural talent, and, in my opinion, dedication and determination to get to it. You don't just see it as a hobby.
The problem, you should always, if you're going to pursue something that has a very low likelihood of success, I think you should pursue something where if you fail, you can at least take some of what you did over to another field. Like, I failed at the recording studio industry badly. And I also failed, you know, in becoming a recording studio tech that would be able to make a living doing that. But the thing is, I was able to take those skills and cross over into, you know, MacBook board repair, the same general ideas of dealing with customers. And what are you doing? I wish I had the 360 camera so that you could see what someone's doing right next to me. But you can't see it. You know, I was able to take that and kind of, bro, I don't care that you have a bigger car than me. It's gonna get just as scuffed up as mine if you try to do what you're trying to do.
This is when I would like to do Grand Theft Auto on that guy.
I really wish that I had a... I'm pissed at my 360 cameras now.
Oh, that beautiful New York.
He mad,
home.
you hear? He mad, he
the
mad.
louder I honk,
he's so fucking
the more
mad.
you're gonna do what I say. You listen to me, I got a bigger horn.
No, but seriously, I wish I had 360 cam. He's like, what, you think you're just gonna go through my car? Are you serious? Like, a horn is not gonna change the laws of physics, bro. You can honk all you want. I'm not responsible for what's in front of me.
Well, it's just like those people. You get into an argument with them, and for whatever reason, they get this bird brain. And I shouldn't say bird brain because I love birds very much, but they have a very small brain thinking where they think if they yell louder than every other person, then they won the argument. And you talk to them, and you try to talk to them very calmly. Don't put any personal attacks. And in their brain, they think that they won because of their vocal level, their vocal tone, the loudness of it. It's completely Neanderthal thinking. But who knows?
When it comes to jobs, I've always... Okay, go. You win. I've always wanted to do something where if I fail, at the very least, I could take this shit that I
transferable skills.
Yeah, I could take it over. Like, so if you're trying to become a world-class gamer, for instance, how is that going to cross over into doing something else? Like, let's say you fail at becoming the best Dota player or the best CSGO player. Can you transfer that over into a lateral field, like some of your skills, so it's not a total wash? Because like what I learned at Avatar Studios on how to deal with customers that are paying an insane amount of money that don't trust you, and also how to deal with like when everybody else in the room is between 30 and 50, and you're 17 years old and you're working on their stuff and they're paying you. They don't, like, how do I deal with that lack of trust? How do I deal with that mistrust? You know, I really learned a lot there. Yeah. And when I started my own business, when I'm 20 years old, you know, in basketball shorts and a t-shirt, showing up to people's offices to fix their MacBooks, it was a lot of the same shit, you know, the diagnostic skill set I needed. I mean, obviously, a 1950s Pultec equalizer is different than a 2006 MacBook, but, you know, it was a similar mindset. You know, like, if you're doing gaming for a living, how does that really cross over?
Now take the Interstate 278 East ramp on the left.
Oh, I will.
I would imagine that you could say, I learn how to get along with people. It promotes friendly competition. If I have to fix my computer, I'm very well versed in computer parts. I know how to put together a computer, possibly.
This is going to be an interesting stream. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to test autopilot. Let's see how autopilot works.
Oh, yep. Passenger airbag is on. That's good. Okay. That's
yeah, I always want the passenger airbag to be on when you're driving with autopilot.
Yeah. I think I saw an Eli stream, or am I remembering it wrong? Something about Tesla autopilot crash? Or was that another person?
That was Eli who did that.
Like last week or so.
Yeah. So it wants to change into this lane.
He looked very happy.
Do I trust this fucking car to make it? Oh, yo, do not let that shit do lane changes ever again.
Okay.
Do
no, I trust the autopilot for lane changes.
Eric.
What?
No. This is where 360 cam is badly fucking needed.
The thing about this car is that it judges you have enough space, but what it cannot judge is
whether the guy behind you is going to speed up on purpose to fuck with you.
Exactly.
So something that is common in New York, and I don't know if this is common where you guys are driving, is if you put on your turn signal, the person next to you will actually speed up so that you can't get in their lane. It's a common practice here. And it happens quite often. And autopilot does not, the navigate on autopilot shit really does not, what's the word I'm looking for? It does not account for it.
Yeah.
Now, let's try this again. I mean, that's why you got to pay a lot of attention when using this.
Do you know what I want to get? I want to get a car and on my back bumper, I want to say thank you for letting me pass. Like, have a little bumper sticker on it. I think it'll be kind of cute.
Your car is going to have its windshield flashed immediately. First thing you want is a Lamborghini Aventador, a gold chrome Lamborghini Aventador that you take to Dollar Tree.
Yes.
So that was your dream. So first off, you're going to have a car where you're immediately...
Dream BG, or BG Dream. That would be mine. I would immediately have a car that would signal to people certain things.
Alright, so this is navigate on autopilot. Let's see if I get to my destination. Do you guys have confidence that I'll get to my destination?
I have confidence. And if autopilot fails or you can't drive, don't worry, we'll get there much slower. We'll get there in double the time. Instead of a 3-hour thing, it'll be a 6-hour drive.
What do you mean 6 hours?
Yeah, because if I drive, I'm gonna go 25.
Oh god.
What? I'll be like, don't worry, we'll get there.
See, this is where this fails. So you have two different lanes over here, right? And it has no idea which one to be on. Now there was one time, you see this place where it divides into this?
Yes.
And you see up there how it turns into... Yeah, I am always scared to use autopilot there because of that dude that wound up crashing into that at 80 or 90 miles an hour and dying.
Oh, he actually died?
I forget if that was the guy that got beheaded. I think the beheading was a Model 3 that went under an overpass or something.
The guy actually got beheaded? Wow.
Yeah, he went, I think it was a Model 3, 2018 red Model 3 with the performance wheels.
Wow.
I remember what it looks like is I remember every freaking article that
Well, you know what, Lewis, all I have have to say is, as a Tesla shareholder, it's unfortunate that these things happen in a very small percentage.
Oh, get the fuck out of my car.
I'm sure their family was taken care of.
Bullshit.
But do not let that dissuade you from buying a Tesla. You know, a lot of people die from prescription drug overdoses. Sometimes, you know, their wheel can pop or something, and sometimes they can end up having like a heart attack. It's a very unfortunate thing, but you can't fully blame the car.
You're an actual Tesla fan.
And if it did happen, well,
I'm going to eject you.
The odds are against you that it will happen.
I'm going to eject you.
Because right now you are doing exactly what Tesla wants you to do. You have your hand on the wheels.
Erica,
in the event that
where's the period in the sentence?
Huh? What?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you have your hands on the wheel. So this is exactly what Tesla recommends that you do.
You can't react in 0.1 seconds if the car is driving for you for 2 hours. Like it's actually doing everything for 2 hours. You're not going to be able to respond in 10 milliseconds when it does something massively fucking stupid. That's just not how the human brain works.
Well,
I'm not saying you should fall asleep.
You should anticipate that happening.
But you can't if you have a 6-hour drive and you have autopilot for like the whole thing and you're an hour 45 minutes in.
Okay.
And the car does something asininely stupid. It's going to be different than if you were driving the whole time because your brain's not going to be as engaged. Your brain is not going to engage in something if something else is taking care of it for you for an extended time period.
You're right, but that ultimately sounds like a you problem, not a Tesla problem.
It's a Tesla problem because they engineer the fucking car. And the problem is that
you're supposed to be alert.
You are such a fangirl. I use this thing because it's the only thing that has a decent nationwide charging network worth a shit if you want to do road trips with an electric vehicle. You are an actual fangirl who will defend everything that Elon Musk does and every fucking lie that he tells.
I'm not defending it. I'm explaining it.
Scammer.
I'm explaining it.
It's like, please, scam me more, Elon. Scam me more.
To take exit 42 onto Brooklyn Queens Expressway toward Grand Central Parkway East.
So Steve says the only thing wrong, and actually I'll tell you later. I don't want it to be on stream. But he was just talking about my uncle's phone. I'll bring it. I'll take it offline. But yeah, as I was saying.
Oh, Steve give you a personal update?
Yes.
Well, that's customer service. He never does that.
He has amazing customer service.
I'm gonna chew him out. He's giving you preferential treatment.
He's not giving me preferential treatment.
He is. You're not supposed to.
What?
You're not supposed to get an update at our business on an Android data recovery in less than 6 weeks. That's unheard of.
Oh.
Especially a personal one.
Oh.
I wonder if he
I had to wait in line since September.
I wonder if he read the note. Oh yeah, you did, because he's texting you personally, right? Instead of emailing?
Yeah, I really appreciate it. You know, you guys, David does an amazing job, and Steve does too. They're really good at data recovery and making things work again. And I only say that because there are, you know, when my aunt told me that my uncle's phone wasn't working, she said she brought it over to a place in Hawaii that's very renowned, and they said that, you know, they couldn't fix it.
CPR, you break, I fix?
No, it was another well-known company. We don't have a you break, I fix, I think, in Honolulu, but yeah. So she asked me what to do because she was.
Take exit 42.
You know, she really wanted the phone to work again. There's invaluable pictures and memories inside of that phone. And I said, send it over. And I'm glad that David was able to recover the data and make the phone work again. It's really great.
David fixed something.
Yeah, I did.
David fixed your phone.
So back what I was saying about Tesla. Yeah, I mean, there are hiccups here and there.
Hiccups. Calling level 2 driving, level 5 driving is a hiccup to you. Saying it'll be done in 2 weeks to 2 months, and then 3 years later, it's still not even out for people who paid for it is a hiccup to you.
Well, yeah, it was maybe it had something to do with the chip shortage or something.
East exit on the left.
Maybe it was hard for them to find workers. Maybe maybe things got delayed because of a logistics issue or something got held up in a port.
Oh, if they have a worker shortage, they could just hire more workers by diluting their stock.
The Grand Central Parkway East exit on the left.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't mind getting more Tesla shares.
No, what they do is they dilute it so that the price goes down for you.
It's okay. It'll go back up.
They really should do that while the company is worth over $1 trillion.
Well, it went down about 4% today.
Because at some point this bubble is going to pop, and when it does pop, they are going to not have missed out on this opportunity to have massive fundraising. Because if they were to use that to fundraise right now, they would have, like, they would be able to ensure that they could kick all of the crap out of a lot of other car companies for a really long time.
I think they're already at a advantage compared to other car companies.
Hardly. I mean, how many Teslas are actually on the road right now?
Right now?
Yeah, there's none. There's a lot, you know, they could compete on price a little bit better. They could, you know, have better economy. There's all sorts of shit that they could do if they have more money. And the way you get more money is by fucking over the shareholders that were dumb enough to buy in at $900 a share.
I just wouldn't be surprised if Tesla goes in the trajectory of Apple, even more so. Slowly creeping up.
No, it's different. Apple, like, even if someone says it's overvalued by, like, you know, oh, it's a 30 or 50p instead of a 10 or a 25 or whatever. Like, it's stuff like that. Whereas with Tesla, it's like they would have to make the money they make now for like the next 100 years, and it still probably wouldn't.
The reason why people invest into Tesla is they don't see it just solely as a car company. They see it as a technology company.
Unless they invent robots that actually replace the jobs of everybody in the country, they are not worth their current evaluation.
Coming soon. I'll be sure to send an email to Elon and say, Elon, do you think you'll have a computer that can automate board repair? Put a big, beautiful Tesla logo on there. What? It'd be like Elon Repair Group. You have a little robot.
Take exit 9E on the right onto Whitestone Expressway toward Interstate 678, New York 25A East.
Do you know Bernie Sanders said something along the lines of we need to tax the wealthy more than make a rich more?
Yeah, I read. And Elon tweeted, like, you know,
should I share myself?
Are you still alive? You want me to sell more shares? I mean, technically, like, here's the thing. If you get paid in stock, then you're not going to get taxed until you sell it. So he's saying, listen, I'll sell my shares, which I can actually respect. Like, okay, I'll sell my shares so you can tax me. But instead of saying, he's like, we need another tax. Like, okay, you want me to sell shares?
Do you know what the brilliant thing about Elon is? He doesn't confirm if he did sell the shares or not right now, like, because Tesla went down 4%, right? But we do know he had that recent discussion with Bernie Sanders. And I feel that if Elon sells his shares, people will say, oh my goodness, he's a true philanthropist. He wants to eradicate world hunger. He wants to help out the world. And they will buy more into Tesla stock because they will see it as a company full of goodwill and good intention. Or at least Elon. People buy into Tesla because of Elon. It's brilliant. It's really brilliant. Want to stamp out world hunger? Buy Tesla. Not financial advice, but that's what I think
on the right.
It's setting it up for.
Feel this road, Eric.
I do feel it.
Boom, boom.
Where are we in? New York still?
Look at this
Okay.
road.
I can't wait till Tesla makes some kind of machine out there, or some kind of car
north toward Van Wyck Expressway.
that fixes potholes and smooth roads. Can you imagine if Tesla sponsored New York roads, and if they said something like, "This smooth road is sponsored by
Now keep
Tesla"?
left to stay on Whitestone Expressway North.
It's not going to happen. It doesn't make sense to sponsor stuff in an area where people don't care about the area. Like,
No,
when
it
you see
does.
people throw trash out of their car and stuff like that, that's why you don't. It doesn't make sense to invest in an area where people don't care, where people wouldn't treat it well, even if it was nice to begin with.
You know what I see it as? I see it as advertising. I see it as a bigger picture. How many people would go drive through a highway or a certain roadway and have to curse at these potholes? If you had this beautiful thing like this area is sponsored, or this highway is maintained by Tesla, people would think very favorably of Tesla. And maybe it would encourage them to buy more Tesla stock or buy Tesla cars.
Oh God.
Supporting a beautiful driving experience, Tesla.
I finally drove like fucking New Yorker just there. That guy wouldn't let me make a left, so I waited too late to not take the exit.
I'm reminded of Donald Trump. There was a, what was it, Central Park, the ice skating rink, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And that was a catastrophe. You know, it was an utter failure. And private sector went in. He said, "I'm going to get it working."
He did better than New York City government did, but at the end of the day, that's not impressive. Like, I'm not trying to shit on Trump. I guess I kind of am, but being able to do a project faster than New York City. You know that woman that set the record for like fastest 105-year-old woman recently? It's like saying you can outrun her, you know?
Stay on Interstate 678 north toward Whitestone Bridge, Bronx.
Those projects, though, and the brilliance of Donald Trump doing that is that people, they might focus on not the logistics side of it, but they might say, man, a government with so many employees couldn't get this thing done.
Yeah.
Donald Trump did it. Man, I think so great of Donald Trump because my little kid can now ice skate because of him.
The government having more employees doesn't mean it's more likely to get something done. It means it's less likely to get something done because they're taking away from productivity. Like, the more government employees you have, the more people you have arguing with each other over regulations and everything else to the point where nothing gets done.
Well, I hope...
like, having 100 employees work on an ice skating rink isn't going to make it any better than 10. If anything, it could be worse. There's more people to get in the way.
I hope private sector, or I hope people... rich individuals sponsor highways, and I think it would be a great thing. I'm not gonna crap on any rich person who sponsors a highway and makes it look beautiful and it's smooth and it's wonderful.
You're supposed to, because the idea there is they should have paid more in taxes so that the government could have built that highway.
Well, the government would just, you know, piss it away somewhere else.
I mean, you see what the government does with the roads in New York City.
That's why you need companies or individuals sponsoring sections of highway, and they'll do it better because they'll say, I got 2 miles that I got to take care of, or 1 mile. I'm going to make sure all the potholes are filled up. And da-da-da-da-da. Can you imagine how it would be if Apple sponsored a section of a highway and it was filled with litter, and then every so often you saw people with Apple logo shirts picking up trash? You know what that would make me do? I would say, man, I really got to buy a new MacBook. Huh?
I'd litter every day. I'm usually a person that throws everything in the garbage, but if Apple said we're going to start picking up trash, I'd probably litter every day.
Why?
I would throw my, you know what I would do actually? I would throw my e-waste right in the street.
Why? Then you know what they would call you? They would call you an environmental threat. They would say, see, this is exactly what happens when you go third party. Those individuals, they don't care about the environment. They throw it onto the highway. We have sighting of Louis Rossman over here dumping huge boxes of e-waste on the side of our section of the highway.
No problem.
What a jerk. Now, if you bring your computer to Apple, Apple will not only recycle it, but will make sure that nothing goes into, you know, on your highway and things like that. Support authorized repair, don't support third-party repair.
When Apple makes my parts not work anymore because they changed something in the operating system, so all my screens with an EDID code don't work anymore, I would just drop it right in the side of the highway.
They would say...
Give a giant middle finger.
They would say security. We want to protect you guys. And we've had all these privacy ads left and right on the side of the buildings because we care.
In all seriousness, do you believe their privacy and security arguments when they say, like, the reason that you can't change a part on your device is because of privacy or security? Do you believe it, or do you see it for bullshit? As an investor. Like,
I see it as a brilliant move. Because that way, you got people who might fall into the idea and they say, yeah, you're right. Yeah, everything does need to be authorized because what about the Hunter Biden guy? Huh? What about his laptop?
I mean, personally, I don't mean as a strategy for the company. Do you actually believe that locking out independent repair is going to make the device more secure? When it comes to replacing a screen or a keyboard or a battery, like, do you believe that's a security issue, or do you see it as something?
No, I don't believe it's a security issue. I personally don't, but that's just my opinion. There might be another person who's like, I don't want to bring it to anywhere else because I heard about Hunter Biden's laptop and I don't want my stuff to get copied or something.
That's the result. His stuff didn't get copied because of independent repair. It got copied because he's a crackhead that left his shit off and never picked it up. don't leave stuff past the contract date with any repair shop, especially Apple, because your stuff may wind up on your sex tape may wind up on Facebook.
Now keep left to stay on Interstate 678 North.
But it's great. You will not have people question things if they just hear the word privacy, security, things like that. Do people really question the TSA overall? No, they're like, hey, yeah, you want to take my water bottle? Yeah, take it. I rather just have you guys take it than maybe some, you know what, going on the plane and then...
The TSA has no viable reason for existence.
For instance, right? We were catching a airplane and we got too close to the boarding time. So as a result of that, the person said, hey, you can't bring your luggage onto the, you can't check it in, you have to bring it onto the plane. Thankfully, because I didn't have that much luggage with me, my luggage was in a carry-on size. So we put it through TSA. TSA pulls it aside, and then they see contraband in there. What's the contraband? 11-ounce bottle of conditioner. So they take it, and I'm telling them, I'm like, you know, it's just conditioner. They're like, nope, you know, it's bigger than whatever. I think 3 ounces or so.
I think if you filled that tiny conditioner bottle, as small as it was, with gasoline, I think you maybe get a smaller fire than what you get out of the lithium batteries that were in the laptops that we brought on the plane. If I were to cut open those lithium batteries I had on the plane, because between my laptop and my spares and yours, that's probably about, what am I thinking? Like 100, probably 200 watt hours or something. Probably around like 200 watt hours or 300 watt hours of batteries. I could have started a much bigger fire. It's completely arbitrary and total bullshit. It's security theater so that people would start taking planes again, because after 9/11, you had a very large dip in people taking flights. Nobody wanted to get on a plane. So you had to come up with a way to get the public to feel safe. And it's about making you feel safe. It's not about you being safe.
Yeah.
Like my martial arts instructor wound up getting a bunch of Ginsu knives and all sorts of other shit on the plane. Yeah, he filed a complaint with the TSA.
You know what I think? They probably looked at him and they said, man, we don't want to take his knives away. He got some weapons. So.
No, he filed a complaint because he forgot that all of his shit was in there. He forgot that all the stuff was in his bag. And the pilot was chilling in the lounge. He was at one point standing next to the pilot. He actually took a selfie and sent it to a woman that he was with at the time. And said, like, I'm next to the pilot, do you know what's in my bag? And she's like, oh my God. And they let all that shit through because they're so incompetent. And you know that has to happen. It happens on a regular basis.
How do you let that go through, but then you don't let a bottle of conditioner in? I know clearly one would show up as a liquid, but the other one would show up as a metal.
If you spend 10 hours a day staring at some stupid X-ray machine, you fall asleep at some point.
They didn't fall asleep at my conditioner. So, actually, it was your conditioner, not my conditioner.
But when even if there was another terror attack, when you think of the amount of time that have been wasted, the amount of flights where people missed their flight because of it, the amount of time that's been wasted, the amount of aggravation in aggregate, the amount of money that gets wasted on that shit, I don't believe that the TSA has been a net good. Even if it prevented a terrorist, like even if it prevented somebody from killing 20 or 30 people.
But you know what? It's the lesser
I don't believe it did. I don't believe it has prevented terrorism.
I like to think maybe it has dissuaded at least.
In 1 mile, take exit 6 on the right onto Interstate 95 north toward New Haven.
Dissuading, I think, is the
flying a plane into a building is so 20th century because they tried to do. It's the old boring method of terrorism. They probably have new methods now.
Such as?
Cooler methods.
Cooler?
Yeah.
Ooh, easy there. What would you consider to be cooler methods?
Psychological. Get Americans to hate their government and hate their neighbor from the inside out. And that's been going on for the past 8 years. It works really well. We all hate each other.
I don't hate each other.
Yeah, look at my comments. People assume my politics because of where I live, and then they hate me for it. And vice versa. Like, you know, America's a country of people that vastly despise each other.
Well, that's why for me, I just kind of think to myself, you know, there are a lot of people who are toxic and negative, and I know people will think this is very preachy, but I just get away from a lot of those people. I just think to myself, hey, if you don't want to be happy, or if you don't want to see the good in people, and you just want to leave hateful comments, that tells me more about you than myself. So for instance, in my comment section, I got this guy named James Gundy. He always, no, but listen to this, he praises you. He's like, I've seen the comments that he leaves you, they're quite positive, but for me, it's just so hateful. It's almost like he wants to be me or something. Kind of strange.
He wants to what you?
He wants to be me.
Be me? Be me?
Be who I am because he likes you, but he doesn't like me.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I hope he takes a long walk off a short pier.
So...
My mother loved that saying. Take a short walk off a long pier. A long walk off a short pier. Not a short walk off a long pier.
So when I realized this, I thought to myself, man, here James is giving me all these negative comments. And why would you take time out of your day just to leave me a negative comment? It's like, what good does that do in the world? Like, nobody cares. It's like, okay, James, if you don't care, just watch something else. Go watch whatever you like to watch.
I understand if somebody leaves one comment and they dislike you, but what's really funny is when people hate watch. When they don't like you, they can't stand you. They disagree with everything you say, and they think you're speaking in bad faith, and they still watch regularly. Because one of the things that I learned about YouTube, and I'm confident this is going to get clipped at some point and taken out of context and used to make me seem like a horrible person, because they're never going to include what I said before, but YouTube taught me that there are a lot of people in the world that are complete losers. I don't mean losers as in they don't make as much money as you. I don't mean losers because, like, they have a pot belly. I mean losers as in they hate you, but they will spend 2 to 4 hours a day watching. What do I mean by this? Well, I remember having live streams that were 4 to 6 hours long when I was doing board repair. You know, I used to do a 4 to 6 hour long board repair stream of my day on the main channel before I realized that was actually killing it because nobody cares about board repair. But
easy.
It's the truth. I was losing like a few hundred subscribers a week when I did that shit. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, but you're gaining 5 subscribers.
No, but the point is, there are people that would say like you're a piece of shit. I can't believe you think that. Blah 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 blah. And I go, wait a second. I said that 3 or 4 hours into the video because I would try to figure out the timestamp where I said it, just out of curiosity. It's like 3 hours and 47 minutes in, and I think, okay, I'm never going to hear from this dude again. And then the next day, I get another like 3-paragraph long comment about what a total piece of garbage I am, how he hates me, doesn't respect me, blah blah blah. And I'll say, wait a sec, I said that an hour and 15 minutes into the video. So you're watching my stuff every single day. You're listening to the entire 6 hours, all of the 6 hours, and you hate me. You have nothing to do. You have no life. You're sad. Because, I mean, you could be listening to an Audible book. You could be listening to something that you like. You could be listening to something where you learn. Instead, you're choosing to go out of your way and listen to somebody that you hate. You have nothing better to do. Like, genuinely, or like when I'll have a video from 7 years ago, it'll be a 7-year-old video going over a feature on a product or something, and I'll get a 10-page comment on how this piece of equipment is absolute piece of shit. I can't believe you recommend this. You must be a shill. By the way, you see everybody slowed down because of the policeman there?
I know.
That's funny. Everybody was going over.
Vernon police.
Literally everyone was going over the speed limit. And then they see, like, because every time I see traffic happen like that, I look to my side and there's a cop car. Speed limits are funny because it's like nobody listens to it unless it's a cop car right there. It's funny.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, listen, this is a 7-year-old video. You realize when I said this is a good deal for $600, that's because it's, so this person decided to write 6 or 10 pages on a video that's 7 years old, that's not even relevant anymore, just to feel better. Like, what I've learned from the comment section is that there are a lot of people are losers. It's just, it's sad, but it is what it is. There's a lot of people that are completely miserable pricks. And James Gundy is one of them. I mean, he hates you. It's very clear from his comments that he despises you as a human being. But he listens to you every single day. He continues to listen to you. And again, when he comments on your videos, he's not commenting on 90-second videos. He's commenting on 1.5 to 2 hour long streams. That's a sad way to live life. Like, I listen to contrary opinions from time to time because I learn something. Like, I realize temperamentally, not even policy-wise, I just mean from a temperamental standpoint, I tend to lean conservative on a lot of things, so I'll listen to this guy like Bo of the Fifth Column from time to time. And he gives me the alternate perspective. And sometimes, like, even when it's like, fuck, I hate you because I disagree with you, but you're right, kind of thing. Like sometimes I think, no, you're wrong. But sometimes I think, I don't even like you because I disagree with, you're right, but I disagree with you anyway. And it's just this, and it lets me recognize the biases that I have. But like, I don't leave these long hateful comments. It's like, oh, cool, I learned something from this, you know?
Yeah.
But to listen to something that's an hour or 2 hours long where you claim you don't respect the person and you hate them, like, and you're getting nothing out of it, you're a loser. Like, there's no other way to put that. You're a fucking loser.
I think,
You live a sad, pathetic life, and a lot of people do.
hold on, I'm eating cashews, you guys.
I can smell peanuts.
Cashews.
Erica's filling herself with peanuts.
Trader Joe's dry roasted and unsalted cashews. Okay. Well, for me, right? I listen to people who stream. I listen to long videos, YouTube videos. But a lot of the time when I'm listening to it, I'm doing other things. Like, I'm multitasking. Today I was listening to something on YouTube while I was scooping the kitty litter. You know, it's like things like that. You just kind of take your mind off of something. Now, the difference between what I do versus what some kind of haterade comments people do is that those people, for whatever reason, I think they like getting riled up about things. I think they like feeling like they're superior to another person, or they like just chopping someone down. And it used to hurt me to receive certain comments. So for instance, recently some guy, I did a live stream and I showed my face.
Do you know where that drink is that I got her?
Yeah, where'd it go? Oh, here it is.
Thank you.
Recently I did a live stream and I showed my face, and this guy, he commented and said that I have no chest. And if I was younger, it would have hurt me immensely. But then I thought to myself, I said, what is the point of commenting about that? It's like,
It's kind of like,
it's pretty obvious.
It's like when I get comments saying, you know, like, I'll get like, oh, you have black circles under your eyes. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like,
Yeah.
do you think you're the first person to tell me this? Because, like, do you really honestly believe that you're the first person to notice this? Really? Do you think you're special? If you're saying it to hurt me, it's retarded, because it's something that I already know. It's even if you're saying it to hurt me, it's the dumbest thing in the world, because you have to be an idiot to think that you're not the first person who said that.
Or,
Like, did this person honestly believe, and I don't mean, did they believe that you didn't know that you had small boobs until that person told you?
no, they obviously do.
And how
But-
stupid do they have to be to assume that nobody has ever told you this over the course of your entire life? Like, you never went to high school and dealt with mean girls or something.
I think, like I said, I think the reason why they do it is because they just want lows. They want to tear other people down so they feel better. And when you keep that in mind, right? I understand why people do it, right? They'll be like, oh, hey, Lewis, you have white hair, ha ha ha. Erica, you have white hair, ha ha ha. These people are probably younger than us. They can't fathom getting white hair. And maybe one day, if they get white hair,
Oh, no.
then they'll understand
No.
how it is when someone says, like, yeah, you got white hair. It's like, yeah, I'm in my 30s. A lot of people dye their hair. A number of people dye their hair. 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. So what? Not a big deal. Yeah, they just want to feel better about themselves.
Would a $2 trillion infrastructure bill eliminate traffic?
No,
Why
probably
not?
not. No.
Why not eliminate traffic?
You know, you'll probably after they spend the $2 trillion, you'll probably wonder how you benefited from that.
Instead of a $2 trillion infrastructure package, what if you just had everybody go?
Go
What if you just told the guy in the front, hey, can you go?
No.
Instead of not going.
No.
Because all of this is caused because there's one person somewhere that's not going.
You can't tell people what to do, Lois. You're infringing on their rights. They can stop and whatever, however they please.
I have the right to smash their car.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You can't tell me what to do, is what they're gonna say.
I can't tell you what to do, but I can bash your car.
If you can figure out who it is.
I know. The thing that I love about having a bicycle is that when shit like this happens, you can go on the side of the road and then go to the front and you can actually see what idiot is causing it. I'll never forget this. When I went to look at some houses in Malvern with Erica, back when I had the deluded idea that moving to and setting up in Long Island would be a good idea, I remember there being this insane traffic and people honking like crazy, And when I went to the front of it, there was a guy that was actually sleeping. His eyes were closed, his head was down, and the light was green, and everybody was honking and he wasn't going. And I would have never gotten it. Like, the thing is with traffic is I would be okay with it if at least I had, I shouldn't say that, I probably wouldn't be okay with it. But it would be great if I had an idea as to what caused it. Like, who is doing this thing right now? Who is causing it and how? But you never get to figure that out because you're back here and you can't go over there because your car cannot shrink and it cannot fly.
Yeah.
But with a bike, you actually get to figure it out. Like when there's shitty traffic, okay, you know, ride on the side of the road, ride on the leaves or something, go in between the cars, and then you can go, oh, he's sleeping. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, and you realize how antiquated this entire idea of driving tanks everywhere is that like you have 10,000 or 100,000 people that are going to be slowed down because one dude fell asleep.
Yeah.
Like one dude falling asleep can fuck up 10,000 people. It's crazy.
And I agree with you, Lewis, completely. I think that people are in antiquated cars. And yes, if someone falls asleep and their hands aren't on the wheel, then maybe they need someone to wake them up. Now, what car has autopilot, and if you don't keep your hand on the wheel for an extended amount of time, beeps at you? Oh, I know, Tesla. Tesla does that. So imagine if that guy who was holding up traffic had a Tesla.
You can't because they start at $38,000.
Well, ask Biden if he could put some money towards having every American have a Tesla car. What? Security.
More inflation, Coco.
More inflation.
More inflation.
Yeah, you could phase it out. I mean, we already are trillions or trillions of dollars in debt.
Yeah, well, you're 27 or 29 trillion. What's another few? What's another few?
Can you imagine if that actually happened? Do you remember how much Tesla went up because of the Hertz deal? What was that? 100,000 cars?
Yeah.
Imagine if they were millions. Oh my gosh, Tesla would be like $6,000 or something. Ah. The car protecting the United States. That's how it would be phrased.
That's a Honda Clarity. By the way, the noise that Honda hybrids make, it's much sexier than the shitty Tesla noise. Tesla like the Honda noises.
Yeah.
The noise that Honda hybrids make when they're in electric mode and they're going under 10 miles an hour, that's the sound I hope I hear when I go to heaven. It's fucking amazing. I love that noise. I seriously do. It's beautiful. I want to play that all day long when I'm working.
Oh, so when you die, knowing you'd probably open your eyes and you'd probably hear the Tesla music playing. Papa Elon welcomes you.
Elon is not my papa. I'm telling you, the moment that a different electric car that's viable comes out, I'm dumping this shit and getting that.
What? What are you getting?
Any other brand.
Oh, I know a great
Once
brand.
you have a nationwide charging network that's not trash
Yeah.
and decent range for your dollar, I'll get another brand.
Okay.
When it comes to the amount of money you spend, the amount of range you get, this is the best. Even when you ignore the charging thing. And I hate to say it, but it's true.
Well, let me bring up another brand that you guys might not be aware of. There is a car company, luxury electric vehicle that's
Scam.
up and starting. It's called Lucid.
Scam.
What?
Scam.
Hey, I've been holding on to that thing. Holding. I'm curious to see what will happen to the Lucid.
Scam.
From what I hear, it's a beautifully made car. I have not seen any of those Lucids in
Yeah, I'm
person.
sure they've produced 5.
They produced a little bit. Hey.
They only have to drive like 10 miles at a time.
Wow.
I believe all of that shit is a scam until they prove otherwise.
No, they've actually manufactured cars. They
Yeah, like 10 of them.
Oh, no, they produce a little bit more than that.
It's a scam until
You
proven
just gotta
otherwise.
let Peter Rawlinson with his posh British accent do his magic. And they got Lucid Air, the
Tesla,
Lucid Green.
like, Elon's a bullshitter in many ways, but he mass produces a car, and there are not crazy problems. Like, okay, yeah, you know, the trim is fucked up and all that shit, but it's not like like they work. To some varying extent, they work.
Okay.
Like, these companies where, like, there's this other company that's talking, I think, they claim to support right to repair, but they also claim to have a 1,000 mile range. It's like, no, you're bullshit.
Really?
And surprise, it's not out yet. I mean, all this, I don't believe it until you create it. Once you create it, you mass create it, and you can do so for several months, and they're not all going on fire, I'll believe it. Until then, in this bubble, I believe it's all bush.
River Parkway north toward Merritt Parkway.
Do you know what those numbers in the map are? I don't
Charging
see.
stations. Yeah, supercharger.
Oh, interesting. They used to not show that. I like that it shows that on the map now. That's really nice.
Yeah.
This is a new update.
Thank you, Elon.
I also have that stupid adapter so I can charge at the non-Tesla ones as well. There's one more adapter I have to get and then I'll have them all.
What's that charger called?
I have a Shademo one,
Shademo,
a J1772, and the last one I need is CCS.
Okay.
Once I have them all, I'll be able to charge
How do you get
everywhere.
the CCS? They're producing that one or is it just come out?
Tesla claimed that they're going, they released one in South Korea.
Yeah.
I don't know why they released it there first, but they released one in South Korea. And once that's done, but there's also a third-party one, but the third-party one is about $600+.
Okay.
It ships from China and takes over a month to get, and it has 1-star reviews everywhere.
Yeah, I can see it now. You get the third-party charger. Your car has a malfunction with the battery, and Chinese be all like, "What? It got damaged in shipping. We don't take it back." And then they just disappear. Yeah, I would never buy a third-party charger for a car. Never, ever, ever. I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't even risk one for my MacBook. So why would I risk one for a much more
Now keep right
expensive
to
car?
stay on Hutchinson River Parkway north.
So I met Erica online, and I was joking with her yesterday because I was going through Facebook. I signed up just for the nonprofit. I don't actually use Facebook at all. What I use it for, what I wanted to do is I wanted to find people to post to repair.wiki. So I wanted to find the best technicians in the groups that contribute the most good data, and then just like pay them to contribute to my wiki in addition to the forums. And I looked at my friends list and I noticed every single
Friend requests.
every single female friend request that I have, 100% of them are from Chinese women that work at a screen company, like selling screens. And I was just joking. I thought if Erica had added me on Facebook instead of email me or anything else, I almost kind of wonder, would I have just clicked off because I assumed that you worked at Jack Telecom and were trying to sell me screens or
Guangzhou
something?
or Shenzhen, China, yeah? No, I was looking, look, a lot of people are so friendly on Facebook, they add him for friend requests, right? So he gets hundreds, if not thousands of friend requests. That is not a bad thing, right? But here's the thing, when I look at it, first thing I told Lewis is, I was like, man, this is like a freaking meat factory over here.
There were 72 pages in the beginning since I last checked this.
Bunch of guys.
I deleted a bunch because I don't know any of these people. I'm not adding you if I don't know you.
They want to get to know you. Maybe James Gundy is in there. What? Yeah, let me know if you ever see James
But
Gundy.
like, I don't use Facebook like that. I have my wall has 0 posts on it ever.
Yeah. But there's a chance. There's a chance maybe you'll accept.
But low bridge ahead. Trucks exit now. Am I a truck?
Yeah, so the only women who really replied who add Lewis is screen sellers on Facebook.
I kind of wonder if Erica added me because you have the smile of a screen. What is this?
But
Okay, he changed his mind. He figured out that's not. He thought, oh shit, I'm a truck. But never mind, I'm not a truck. Is this the low bridge?
your car's gonna be able to clear that.
But
Oh wow, you made it.
if Erica added me on Facebook, there's a good chance I would have said delete just because I would have assumed it was a screen seller.
Yeah, probably.
I sell you parts.
I was talking about how I wanted to make Oreo a Facebook page. I said I think he would get more women adding him. And more, who knows, maybe other people who make cat pages would add him too.
Last time he made a right turn signal, he went left. So I don't trust him. I go on the next line.
Do you think Oreo should have his own Instagram account and Facebook page?
Well, there are cats that have Instagrams and Facebooks, and sometimes they monetize it and they do very well.
Yeah.
The thing is, those are adorable cats that are intelligent or pretty. Whereas Oreo is ugly and dumb.
No.
So I don't think he's going to do well on
You
social
know what?
media.
He's very awesome.
The YouTube analytics have proven this very, very clearly.
Yeah, that's just a fake analytic. They're trying to suppress him for whatever reason.
I mean, you've seen it. The numbers don't lie. When I do an Oreo video, people unsubscribe.
Yeah.
People do not like that cat.
The fake accounts unsubscribe.
They're not fake accounts.
They are.
Okay, though, they fake accounts that
They
are getting added for Clinton?
Huh?
And what's the benefit of that?
It just strengthens the narrative that allegedly Mr. Clinton is a superior cat. But in my opinion, I've seen both of those cats in person. Between the two, Oriole's the more cuddly. He's a tubby cat. He leads with his heart. He doesn't yell at you all day. He's like a little snowball. A black and white one. Yeah, he's like a little ball of cotton.
Say cotton.
Cotton.
Say kitten.
Kitten.
Is this a Hawaii accent thing or just a you thing?
Well, I think it's a me thing. When Oriole was a little kitten, he must have been so cute. I swear, if I made him an Instagram or Facebook page, he would have blew up big. Because he has those, like, unique markings. He's so handsome. I tell him he's handsome every day. He gets groomed the most out of all the cats. And yeah, I was like, oh, you're so handsome, Oriole. So handsome. For whatever reason, YouTube does not support that. I don't know why. Oh well. He's very handsome to me. I think everybody knows who my favorite cat is. Unsurprisingly.
Ooh, look, somebody got pulled over there.
I know, look at that guy. He couldn't slow down in time. Oh.
He couldn't. Yeah. Okay, that means people actually get pulled over here.
Oh, look at the beautiful trees.
That's a Mercedes E350 in front of me.
Hey, which reminds me, can we go check out that apple place? That apple farm place we went to last time?
Maybe.
You know which one I'm talking about.
I think so.
I want to go grab some apples. They have really tasty apples there.
And they were free.
They weren't free.
Yeah, they were on the tree.
You weren't supposed to pick that, Lewis.
Well, you were the one who picked it, not me.
No, I told you to put your hand underneath the apple, and like you're grabbing an apple, and then you put your hand and you touched it and it fell.
You are a giant troll.
What? I did not.
You are a thief too.
I did not.
I wasn't supposed to take that apple.
It went into your hand.
You're a thief.
What? No.
You're a thief.
And then you bit into the apple and you said, "Oh man, this apple is delicious and superior." And I was like, "Yes, that is a great apple. Aren't apples amazing?"
You're worse than Eve.
No.
You are worse than Eve.
But yeah, fresh apples are incredible, you guys. For all my Hawaii people out there, if you guys don't like apples, you gotta try a fresh apple. Oh, it's amazing.
That van is Doug stampering it. Did you see the stamper van in front of us? Look at that stamper van. He's chasing Rachel right there.
I know. My favorite character in House of Cards is Stampede. Doug Stamper.
Yeah, and he gets killed by
Oh my god. It pissed me off, and this is such a spoiler, you guys.
That was a shit ending. That entire fucking show was shit for the past 2 seasons.
I had to rewatch the scene like 3 times because I was like, wait, what? I mean, Claire is like 6 months pregnant. She dispatches him with a letter opener, and while he's bleeding out, he doesn't. It's not like adrenaline doesn't course through his veins. Because the Stampede that I know, he would have grabbed her and like broke her neck or something. But no, he just died, not trying to defend himself or anything. He was like, I guess I will die now. And she suffocates him with one hand. Oh, come on. She's a 6-month pregnant woman. You tell me she can take out Doug Stamper.
I mean, after he got stabbed in the gut.
When you stab somebody in the other hand.
Yeah, but he was stabbed in the gut at that point. You're kind of fucked. That's the most painful way to die. That's the most painful place to get stabbed, too, from what I hear.
Yeah. Well, I just refuse.
It didn't answer anything. Like, the way that Frank died, there's no answers.
No,
it's really very minimal in terms of like how any of the interesting shit happened. The last 2 seasons made no sense.
No,
they made no sense at all.
They did a Game of Thrones. They just kind of haphazardly said like, okay, last 10 minutes, da 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 da.
No, but Game of Thrones at least had a plot that you could follow. House of Cards for the last 3 seasons did not have a plot that was followed.
The last season was an absolute mess. Not the last 3 seasons.
I would say the last 3 seasons were trash.
No.
Yep.
I mean, I was just hoping that Stampede could be in there for a while. And did you know they were actually going to give Stampede his own spin-off series? But after the Kevin Spacey thing, they said no. And I was like, dang it, I would have totally watched the Stampede Files. I'd have been like, Stampede!
Getting rid of Kevin Spacey was bullshit.
Yeah.
It was a complete virtue signal on their part. You've already made him rich. He was already, I don't know, he was already rich before he met Netflix. You already made him rich with the series. people are signing up for Netflix to watch that show. So you are still profiting off of Kevin Spacey. So if you want to truly make a mark, delete the first 4 seasons of House of Cards, or delete the first 5 seasons. Get rid of Kevin Spacey entirely. If you really want to send a message that we don't want to profit off of him because we don't like him, then get rid of all of his content on your platform. But you're not going to do that because you like the money.
Yeah.
And also because it was a virtue signal the whole time.
Well, what I wish they did is, instead of having it be Claire and those BS billionaires, focus more on Stampede. I mean, like, I think Stampede is really one of those standout characters. I really like Stampede as a character.
He was skinny, out of shape,
he was very
balding, weak-minded.
He was not weak-minded.
He was weak-minded. He let Rachel live, and then he had to change his mind on it.
Because he had a heart.
He let Claire live.
Yeah.
He killed Frank just to protect the legacy of a man that never gave a shit about him.
No, he was going to give everything to Stampede.
And then he got killed by Claire.
Yeah.
What
which was BS. Which was BS.
Bitch.
No, the Stampede that I was following for 5 seasons would not have let Claire do that to him. But then it doesn't also answer the question. Okay, so Claire kills Stampede in the Oval Office. Do you think that people are not going to question, like, hey, what the hell happened? She's going to say, what? I had to defend myself against Stampede, so I killed him with the letter opener. I didn't call for help or anything, and I suffocated him. Because, you know, the autopsy is going to show that too. It was just very ill thought out though.
This is Greenwich, Connecticut, Erica.
Oh, pretty.
Greenwich, Connecticut is an area where $1 million house kind of looks like a $300,000 house anywhere else.
Really?
Yes.
So it's like New York.
It has low property tax, but Connecticut has higher other taxes. But it's a very, very well-to-do, expensive area. You get a lot of like the Wall Street types that want a house away from the city.
That's pretty close. Oh, we're going near Trader Joe's. You know it's expensive if there's a Trader Joe's nearby.
How do you see the Trader Joe's?
It's Elon chosen.
Where do you see Trader Joe's?
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's.
I love Trader Joe's.
I wonder where this person with the bumper sticker, the E350 in front of me is going. Is that a Florida license plate? I think I see an
Yeah,
R.
it is a Florida. It is a Florida.
Oh, bro, wrong direction. Wrong direction, sir.
No, he wants to he probably wants to go to New Hampshire.
Hampshire. I like how you say Hampshire.
Hampshire. New Hampshire.
Kitten.
Kitten. Why do New Hampshire handsome? Like, oh,
Mitten.
Mitten. So I want to buy some apples, and I want to buy some maple syrup, and
That neighborhood with the farm area, that was called Hollis. That neighborhood is kind of off in the middle of nowhere-ish, but it is still quite expensive. The houses in that area cost more per square foot than the other 2 areas I was looking.
yeah, I got a
And
question.
there's really nothing there besides that farm.
I wonder if you could lowball for that one house you were looking at and that fell through. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's a good chance that the buyer would tell me to go, the seller would say, go fuck yourself, because I was under contract and then I just kind of went, eh.
Hey.
Because they said that, the thing is, they said I needed to make my offer higher because of the offers that were already in place.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if I wasted their time once, they're not going to let me waste their time again.
I
wouldn't
know.
let them
I
waste
mean,
their
I'd rather
time.
have my time wasted than not have any offers at all. What do they have to do? It's just a yes or a no. Please don't make it sound like if someone got up and they're like, oh, I'm so inconvenienced to hear this
No,
offer.
because when you go under contract, you stop showing it to other people, it goes off the market, and then you have 2 weeks of not having other people bid.
But if
I guess no, because some of them actually take backups. Like, you remember the one that I like near the pond?
Yeah.
The one I like near the pond, it still says we're taking backup offers in case this falls through.
Why don't you check out that home?
I very much so do want to check out that one.
You know, I mean, like, we're already here and you.
I can't check that out. I mean, I can't go inside of it.
Is it nearby where we are going?
Yep.
Yeah.
I could drive by the area,
Drive
but
by.
you have to schedule a time to look inside.
We'll schedule a time. I think that was the best place, to be very frank with you.
If I do wind up purchasing it, then the idea of having an apartment is kind of useless.
Well,
at that
check
point.
out the pond house. Out of all the homes, I thought that was the best. I thought it was like a little slice of like what you like.
I like that
but
you
it's
go
not too far away from Trader Joe's.
7 minutes to Whole Foods, 10 minutes to Trader Joe's, and you have a giant pond in your backyard.
Yeah.
And then, I would definitely get a remote control boat to go through the little pond.
Yeah.
And I would probably wind up playing with it all day.
And I like it because you don't have a pool, so you don't got to worry about the pool maintenance at all.
You have a pond.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. You don't got to maintain your pool.
I don't mind having you maintain the pool.
No, I'm not maintaining the pool. Oh, hell no. I'm just thinking about the financial aspects.
Erica, you're going to have to maintain the pool.
Hire a pool boy.
You research all these different things all day long. I'm confident you can figure out how to maintain
Yeah, but I don't like using
my hot tub parties.
No.
All my female fans.
Your female fans?
Yeah, all the female fans.
No, you can have a sausage festival. You know what I call it? I call it a barbecue festival. How's that? Have a barbecue festival, Louis. They'll be like, there's no shortage of meat at this festival.
You're funny. You are funny, Erica. Funny.
You know, I have a higher female ratio of subscribers than Louis does. Mine's is like 8 or 9%. His is like 2.
It's because you talk about girly things.
I know. What? You talk about... No, I don't know. You talk about things that probably women are like, what, just border repair stuff?
I have a highly sexist comment here.
You know
Debating
what?
whether I should say it out loud.
You know what I know it is? I know where your 2% of your female fans come from. You know what it is? Your border repair videos. Your border repair videos.
Yeah, you're just trolling.
No, it's true. They're a small, passionate bunch that like, we don't want to see more real estate stuff. We don't want to see no drive. What are you doing traveling? We want to see you behind a workstation and show us the way, Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of thing. Show us the light. Guide us. Be our mentor. All that stuff. We have so much border repair videos. How many border repair videos do you have?
It's over 620.
600.
Those are just the ones that are public. If I put all the old privated live streams, if I unprivated all the old live streams, it'd probably be like 720 or 820.
620.
When people say that, why, you know, I can't watch this because he used to do border. It's like, I know you didn't watch all 620 of them. I know
How do you know they didn't?
I guarantee you.
No, there must
When you look
be.
at their comment history, it's like I subscribed 2 months ago with the border repair. It's like, dude, there's over 600 of them. Go watch.
Over 600. Yeah,
I still have more border repair content on YouTube than any other content creator. Even people that are currently making border repair videos on a regular basis, they don't have over 600 of them.
Not yet.
No, they'll burn out before they get there.
Oh, is that a challenge? Hear that, border repair people? What? Someone needs to go on YouTube and make a border repair only. And
It gets boring to do the same shit over and over and over again on camera. Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to try to figure out why people... It's always...
Oh my goodness.
It's a bad tantalum capacitor, blown F7140, bad R7120 or 7122, 7121, bad ISL 6259, bad, you know, like, bad charger DC and resistor. It's like, how many times can I go over the same shit?
But you don't understand, Louis. It gets the people going. They're knocking on your door. They want more border
No, it doesn't. They unsubscribe when I post border repair.
No, like the passionate 200 people out there, they're like, dude, I want more border repair. Yeah.
How many times can I do the same shit?
Infinity. Infinite times. Why stop at like 620? Why don't you try to push it to 1,000 border repairs? What? 1,500 border repairs. Maybe you should do that for April Fool's Day. Do a border repair video and say, hey you guys, I just want to tell you I no longer want to talk about real estate. You'll have people like, oh my gosh, yes, finally! No more real estate videos, no more quality content. Just border repairs. Oh my gosh.
What's wrong with quality content?
Huh?
What do you have against quality content?
I don't have anything against quality content.
Eric has a lot against
Except
quality
it wasn't the quality cat. It wasn't my favorite cat.
Eric is fucking triggered at
I
quality
have
content.
so much videos of Oreo sleeping and, you know, nuzzling and everything like that. And it just, you know, Clinton on his back. Like, it's like 2 million views. How does my favorite cat not get that many views? Maybe my tags were not on point. Who knows? He's very humble. The border repairs. you like doing the border repair videos? It's like a puzzle, isn't it? It's like doing a crossword puzzle, I imagine, for you. What do you think?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, you know when you wake up one day and you just don't find your wife attractive anymore, and you wind up banging someone half her age?
Yeah.
I feel like that with board repair.
And then your wife
like
tells
I'm ready to
you
bang somebody half board repair's age, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. But I'm just ready for something else.
Really?
Yep.
You want to fix something else?
I want to fix something half board repair's age. Board repair is no longer attractive.
We got a rowing machine you can fix. What? Wes has been on my case about that. I told him, I said, I need to get a long screwdriver.
You need a long screw?
I need a long screwdriver for
She
mine.
needs a long screw.
Yeah, a huge one. Like a 1 foot long one or something like that. It's pretty in there. I hate those little screws that you can't easily access. You look through it, it's like a freaking dark hole. And I'm like, where am I poking onto?
Francis never had to pay for the death of Zoe Barnes, speaking of people that bang someone half their wife's age.
Yeah. But do you know who was the asset? Claire.
Fuck you.
Claire.
Did you feel that, Erica?
Yeah.
You know what that's called?
What?
Phantom braking.
I mean, I think Zoe had potential, but when I saw Claire, I was like, man, Claire is like the lioness.
Okay, fuck you, Zesty. That was...
Zoe Barnes was hot, but she did not. She was too naive.
Speaking of naive, are you still a Tesla investor?
Yeah.
Erica, this
Why
thing
would I go against a philanthropist, Louis?
You're not a philanthropist.
Yes, he has sold his Tesla stock, and I'm sure he's going to do wonderful things with it. Help world hunger. What?
You like that phantom braking, Erica? It drives for 2 minutes and then it stops in the middle of the road with nothing there.
It's a quirk.
Fan girl.
A small quirk. You know, it's crazy. It's only 1:35 p.m. right now, but it looks so dark, does it not?
That's because of the scam of daylight savings time.
I gotta change my clock. I forgot if it's forward or backwards, but I'll Google it. Actually, yeah, I gotta change the clock on this stuff. I look at the time, I'm like, holy crap, it's only 6 p.m. It looks like it's like 10 p.m. So it throws me off because when I see darkness, I think, oh, I gotta go to sleep. Do you know who is adjusted to daylight saving very well? Oreo.
He sleeps all the time anyway.
It's a more peaceful sleep for him. I think of him like a little bear. You know how bears hibernate in the winter? That's what Oreo's doing right now. Maybe in the spring he'll be more energetic. Maybe. Also, I found that something about my skin. So I think the reason why my skin gets all itchy and eczema-like is because when winter comes in, my skin gets dry. And when my skin gets dry, it gets irritated, and then my eczema forms. So I'm actually putting band-aids over my little patches, and it seems to be helping quite a bit. It's keeping the moisture in a little bit.
I have to find you some clothes that are more kind to your skin.
No, I mean, like, it's not that. It's just the winter weather. It's not meant for Hawaiians. So my skin's like, what this? Hawaii's not this cold.
I pointed out Florida, and Erica thought New Hampshire's a better option because it's closer to the store.
Yeah. And so if you guys
Florida
see
is
me,
Erica's weather, though.
if you guys see me looking like a mummy, you know why? All bandaged up. Like, I just got to get rid of a few little patches over here. Yeah, it's just because I want to get this thing under control. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patches. They're pretty small, so it's just, if I keep them, if I don't have a band-aid over them, they actually get much more irritated. I'm just treating them like a little cut, and I'm quite happy today.
What makes me sad about this infrastructure bill is no rethinking of America in it. Because like, if you're going to spend $1 or $2 trillion bucks, it shouldn't be routine maintenance. It should be a rethinking of America.
What would you think?
Or high-speed rail. Like I would want. Have you ever taken Amtrak to upstate New York, where Jess is?
No.
It's beyond slow. It takes 13 hours to get there.
Really?
Yeah, 5 hours with the car and no traffic. 12 to 13 hours by Amtrak because it stops constantly and it goes. There are many stretches where it can only go 9 or 14 miles an hour because the tracks are so in poor condition. Imagine if you had a high-speed rail so that going from New Hampshire to New York, imagine if it went 250 miles an hour.
Okay.
Or 300 miles an hour.
Okay.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Or like, where each stop on the high-speed rail would be, you know, between each of the states or the cities, but you're going 200 or 300 miles an hour. Like that would be what I expect for $1 to $3 trillion.
Yeah.
This whole like roads, bridges, tunnels,
inflation,
boring.
Yeah.
Like it's so. America used to be a place where, like, we were innovators. We led the world in things, and now it's like a, I don't know. It's just. You look at it and it's like, this is what we're spending $2 trillion
Well,
on.
you know what? I'm not going to fault New York for not having a high-speed rail, because if you guys want to know one of the biggest scams in Hawaii, it's the freaking rail project. Go look that up. The rail transit project. Oh my gosh. That pisses. You know it costs like $20,000 per inch of this freaking
I've
Hawaii
seen
rail.
the speed at which Hawaii people work.
Oh gosh, it's such a scam. I voted no to the rail.
The rail does not surprise me one bit.
Oh my gosh.
You guys work at the a little aloha in my day. It's a little aloha. Where's the? Have you fixed the board yet?
What? We stay on Hawaii time.
You guys, you're very kind, nice,
Yeah, we're nice
kind-hearted,
people.
good people
Yeah.
that work on Hawaii time.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've seen them.
What?
That's one thing that happens anytime I leave New York City. When I leave New York City and I look at the speed that people work at outside of New York City, it blows my mind. Because everything is just kind of moves in slow motion.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is? The one beautiful thing about Hawaii is the people there are so nice and friendly. You ask yourself, why is Hawaii considered like one of the happiest states in the nation? It's because everybody's like a ray of sunshine over there. It's like, oh, how's it, that kind of stuff, blah blah blah. Small talk, that kind of stuff. It's nice. You don't have to watch your back. You don't have scammers galore. I don't even think there must be only maybe like 2 Eugenes in freaking Hawaii. Sorry for anybody who's named Eugene. If your name is Eugene, I have a little distrust for you. Change your name to something else.
How many people in Hawaii make the noise? I got a dirty look. I have 2 dirty looks. Erica gonna pretend that she doesn't make any noise.
I'm not making any noise. I don't know what you're talking about. Fake news. What?
Erica gonna pretend she doesn't make any noise.
By the way, do you still have the Sweet Mercy donation sound up?
Yep.
Oh, I love it so much.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Has Paul Daniels heard himself yet?
I don't know.
Yeah, his voice probably hasn't made it to Australia yet. Soon though, so maybe one day, maybe in a couple days or a couple weeks or a couple years, so pop him to an AMA or a donation and be like, what the hell? Is that my voice? You know, one thing I wish that we Americans had is more class. Paul Daniels is so classy.
Why do you think he's classy just because he has an accent?
This is
mostly
Mercy. Sweet Mercy.
How? He goes fuck all the... How is
He
Sweet
does?
Mercy... Why is Sweet Mercy classier than fuck?
Because it's so...
Sweet Mercy.
It just sounds a lot more
Fuck.
elegant. Yeah. I should say Sweet Mercy more. But no, I mean like it's my I can't naturally say Sweet Mercy. It just sounds kind of strange coming from me. I just feel like, whoops, that's my thinking. But yeah, I don't really want to use the F word anymore so much. I want to be more eloquent, elegance, and I want to have a higher standard for myself.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Hampshire.
Yeah.
Puns.
I want to be more like a clear underwood.
So you want to stab people?
Only with the pointy side.
Excuse me. We let the COVID out of the people.
Oh, hold up a second. I don't think it went out that fast.
Fine.
Why are you coming from my side? Oh, hey. I was trying to smell the expensive air over here in Fairfield, Connecticut.
Connecticut is a well-to-do area.
I want to smell it. It smelled like a $100 bill.
I think Connecticut recently, they were discussing passing a law about barring you from paying men more than women or something like that.
Really?
I do wonder how something like that would be adjudicated. So, like, for instance, there are people at my store where 2 technicians will have different salaries. Not even like men versus women, but just you have the exact same job title, but you make more than you.
Yeah, experience
and there's a
combination.
But there's a number of reasons, and if anybody walked up to me and asked why do I make this and he makes that, I could explain at any given time the what led to my decision making, and none of it has to do with gender. But I'm very curious, how do you deal with that when you have that in law?
I don't know.
It was either that or a vacation law. I forget if it was the gender thing or there was some new vacation law that I think Connecticut was thinking of passing. It wasn't I don't think it was the gender pay thing. I think it was a vacation thing.
I wonder how it would come off on YouTube if someone says, "Oh my goodness, you guys, today is a very stressful day. I found out Connecticut has a vacation law, so I'm thinking about for my family's vacation home. I wonder how this would negatively affect our multi-million-dollar property." Oh my God, how tricky do you think that would be?
How would it affect your property? I'm curious.
I don't know. Or like whatever that vacation law is, or if there's like a vacation property law or something like that.
I don't get it.
No, I mean, like, if someone on YouTube was talking about how they would be adversely affected by some kind of vacation home law, and they just seem so...
Oh, it's not a vacation home law. It's a law on vacation days that you can take.
Really? Oh, dang. I thought it was vacation home
I remember hearing Peter Schiff talk about it, because he used to live in Connecticut, so he was ranting about it. Every time I hear Razor and Dota yell when I attack somebody, gold is a good conductor, I just think that it's Peter Schiff shilling to me.
You gotta have a character named P. Schiff. Gold is a good conductor. What is the price of gold anyway?
Probably 17 or 1800.
Don't worry, in 2050 it'll go up. Oops, did I say that? No, I didn't. How did my baby go? Oh man, oh my baby. A lot of babies are going down today. Oh no. Oh no.
What?
Tesla down 3% after Elon warns he could sell more stock. Okay. Yeah, don't be worried. He's just selling more stock. Probably all the day traders or all the traders are like, I don't want to have a dip in my stock. It would sell too.
If you bought Tesla when it was $1,100 or $1,200 and you're tweeting at Elon saying, how dare you say this to hurt my investment, you're an idiot. If you buy a stock with a PE of 500 to 1,000, what the fuck do you expect? Like, literally anything can topple that shit over.
Look at GME. GME is still like 210 right now. If GME can make it, freaking Tesla can make it. Tesla's not a cult. You know what it is? A super cult. Did you catch that? Huh? Super cult. Like, nope, we're not selling. I'm not selling. Yeah, we'll see. Hampshire, what would you do about the 3 cats? Would you keep them in New Hampshire? Or would you keep them at...
I keep the 2 cats in New Hampshire.
Man, sucks to be Blackberry.
Sucks to be Oreo.
BBB, bye-bye Blackberry.
Oreo is going back to whence he came, Erica.
No, he is not going back to where he came.
He came from outside.
No, he's not going outside.
He's returning to the outside.
No, he is not. I don't know why you want to get rid of Oreo. Oreo's very, very, very much loved. Very huntsy. Yeah, so we were looking at some properties and they said, oh, they only allow 2 cats. And the first thing that crossed on my mind was, oh, it was nice knowing you, Blackberry.
White berry.
Huh?
You're just mad because she gives you affection. And she gives
No,
you
because
kisses.
look, you tell me Clinton is the highest grossing cat, and he is.
By far.
So
He's
we
made
can't get rid of
thousands.
Clinton because he pays for all the cat food just by himself.
He does better than my videos. That cat has made me at least $5,000 on YouTube.
Yeah. So
5,000. That pays for the fucking $3,500 surgery I had to get him when he tried to break my baseboard heating units.
yeah. So because of that, right? Because of this, we can't get rid of Clinton. And Oreo, we can't get rid of because he is the second most handsome cat.
He's not handsome.
And
he's
he is the balance to the universe.
He's
I
literally
mean,
caked in shit. I mean, there's no...
Huh?
He's caked in shit, Eric.
No, he's not. He is not. You gotta get your eyes checked if you think Oreo's caked in poop. I groom him way more frequently.
You have to remove poop.
Yeah, but it's a small
This
inconvenience.
guy's a left turn signal on and there's no... Are you gonna turn in the grass?
No. He wants to make his own lane. He's like, I do what I like, but yeah, this is because Oreo is in my opinion the superior cat. He's my favorite, and Clinton is Lewis's favorite. Well, there's only one cat that's stuck in inertia,
You have bad taste in men.
and that is Blackberry. So that's why I say bye-bye Blackberry. I guess she's going over to the store.
You have bad taste in men, Erica.
No, I don't have bad taste in her.
Actually, horrible taste in men.
He's cute. He's handsome. I look at his face and I tell him he's very handsome almost every day. Yeah, he's very picky. Like, I clean that litter box. We have a huge litter box and he still poops outside of the litter box. I don't know why.
Because he's dumb.
No, he's just
Very, very
he's
stupid.
very hygienic. He just does not want to have a dirty litter box.
Yes, he's so hygienic that he cakes himself in shit and doesn't clean it. Every other cat is able to clean themselves. There's only one cat here that doesn't know how to clean itself.
He doesn't want to taste his own poop. You want to taste your own poop? I don't think so. He's like, you clean me, Lewis.
Then he can wipe himself on something.
What? On your bed sheets? Yeah, you already did that. You're not giving him much. He's
Mr.
like,
Clinton is a clean animal.
yeah, but Oreo is like human. I pooped. Clean my poop. He's very real. But he's not an easy maintenance, low maintenance cat. I've always told you guys that. He takes a lot more work than Clinton and Barry.
Say maintenance.
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 Whatever. Oh, look at these. You know these big homes, I've always wondered, the only reason to have such a big home is if you have like a housekeeper or something, in my opinion. You don't need to have like a freaking mansion.
I don't want a mansion. I just want one giant room and then a bedroom and a bathroom. But that doesn't exist. That's not a thing. I want a giant listening
basement.
room and that's it.
Don't be like Eli, get a basement. Eli has full control of a basement.
Does he? I never see him do videos in a basement.
He does. All his videos are done in a basement.
No, they're not. They're done in a room upstairs, and then he goes rawr.
Oh,
Raw. He used to do them out of a basement in his Baltimore house, but he's no longer in a suburb of Maryland. He's in Asheville, North Carolina. Or as he calls it, Kakalaki.
Well, how about this? You could be in an attic. How's that? You can do your live streams in an attic. Maybe you get a window. There was this one home that Lewis was looking at, and it has a barn stable. And I was like, why the hell do you need a barn stable over here?
For Oreo.
Oreo does not need a barn. He's not that big of an animal. He's like a 11-pound, 12-pound cat. He's tiny.
You're tiny.
He's not like Phoebe. Phoebe is so cute though.
Phoebe is a fat.
Oh.
Phoebe's a fat ass cat.
So Phoebe is a cat that, I forgot, what is it? Oh, what kind of cat is Phoebe?
An expensive one?
A British short hair, I
A
think.
$900 cat?
Yeah, I think it's a British short hair.
They
Oh
call
my
that a
goodness.
ripple.
The dad and the mom look so meme-worthy. They're fat, their faces are so fat. It's like a little sumo wrestler of a cat. So Phoebe, she, you know, she was like $900 and now she's got to be like huge. But she's so pretty. She has such beautiful eyes and beautiful coat and things like that. I was telling Lewis that I think maybe Phoebe would be interested in Oreo. If she was interested in a male cat, you think Oreo would be able to do his little Oreo charm on her? I don't think so. It wouldn't work out
He
anyway.
doesn't have a charm.
Phoebe is fixed and Oreo's fixed, so you would not have any high-end expensive cat mixed with Oreo. But that would be something. Imagine the cross between Phoebe and Oreo. How do you think that would look? Like a really freaking fat Oreo. It's so adorable. So. Yeah, people, when they get these big properties, I don't think they realize how much care it is. Like, if you have a property that's like 5,000 square feet and you got a lawn, you got to mow your lawn and things like that, or pay someone to do it. And my personal opinion is that it's not a downside about getting a space that big if you have a landscaper, a housekeeper, all that stuff. There was this one house that we saw and the yard space went as far as the eye could see. And the first thing I thought was, man, you're gonna need a John Deere tractor or something to go after that lawn. That's not like a little lawnmower. That's like industrial sized stuff or something. Oh. You spend the whole day just mowing your lawn if you just did a pushy one. Nope.
What do you mean, nope?
You remember that one house that we saw? I forgot. The one that we saw that had a chimney, had this, I forgot where it was.
Erica doesn't want to do any work.
I don't want to go and mow like 5,000 square feet of grass.
I don't want to mow. I don't want to clean. I don't want to, you know, treat the pool. I want to sit home and talk on YouTube. I want to be an IRL streamer. You would benefit from the hot tub, Erica.
I don't want
You
to
would get more views from the hot tub.
No.
Stream from the hot tub to your OnlyFans.
No. What OnlyFans? I don't have OnlyFans. Why don't you have an OnlyFans?
Because I don't have a hot tub.
You don't need a hot tub. You could just stream from anywhere. Just wear a low-cut V-neck shirt, and then you have all the sausages come out and be like, oh man, and I'll say, and at the end of it, I'll say, hey, if you want to buy a shirt, it's $200. I won't even wash it for you guys. You guys can have it.
That's kind of strange.
What? Instead of donating your clothes for free, you can make a business out of it. If I was a streamer, I probably would do that. Like buy some of my clothes kind of thing. But I'm not. It's not, like, cause I know if I did one of those streams, 90% chance the person buying my clothes would be a guy. And chances are the guy would not be able to fit in my clothes at all. But I've seen some YouTubers do that. You really luck out if you have a piece of clothing that's $20 and you're able to sell it for like $200. Oh my goodness. So how far is that pond place from?
10 minutes.
After we go check out that place, do you want to go grab a bite to eat at Whole Foods?
Yep. I'll be charging there too.
Oh, you have a charger there.
I want to see if it works. charger, you have to go all the way to Vermont.
Yeah.
Screw that.
Yeah.
Or the one that's at Whole, if you want a Tesla one. At Whole Foods is a different one. It's like EVgo or Electrify America, or one of those brands where all their chargers are broken across the country. So I'm kind of curious if this one is too.
I don't think it is. A charger in front of a Whole Foods should not be broken for long. It makes Whole Foods look bad.
Those companies have no incentive structure to invest in fixing anything. I think they're all waiting on Biden to pass an infrastructure plan so that they can get money.
You think so?
Yeah. Any money they spend right now is money that they could have. They'd rather spend the taxpayers' dime than their own. And you know, I would too if I was in that position. So all the all the companies that make these electric charging stations, there's so many of them are just maintained like complete trash, if even at all. It's like, why would I put my money in if I could just put somebody else's money in later? Guardrail is broken over there too.
No.
I think somebody crashed over there. And here too.
Wow. Woody Path River Marsh Wildlife Area. Sounds beautiful. Oh, Tesla navigation. A1 Toyota, this exit, Mega Stromy. Cat's Deli. Holy crap, they have a Cat's Deli here? Wow. I've never gone to Cat's Deli before. Have you?
Once.
Oh, let's go there. I want to go there.
Yeah.
I have to try Cat's Deli.
Overrated, overpriced.
I mean, you could try it once.
They had a reputation of 80 years ago, and they're milking the shit out of it.
We're talking about that movie? Something about Harry or something?
No. I mean, the World War II.
Cat's Deli? Weren't they featured in the movie?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they were. Why do I feel like if you live in some of these homes in the woods, if you have an axe murderer, like nobody would hear you?
Because nobody would hear you. That's why if you're going to become a murderer, it probably makes sense to murder people in the middle of nowhere, rather than murder them in a large city.
Yeah, you're right.
Certainly something I would consider if I were a murderer.
The only problem is if you live in a city, people probably know each other, and if you're the most recent transplant there, then people are, ooh, wow, look at those big birds up there. If you're the most recent transplant there, people would say, hey, yeah, we didn't start having murders until this guy from New York started moving over here. Now all the residents are, a bunch of people are dying off. Oh, who could our murderer be?
I would probably have fake plates if I was a murderer.
Yeah, you'd have New Jersey plates.
How many people do you think have murdered someone, but have not been caught by the cops yet? And they're just like driving around every day, hoping that they don't get caught. Like if you had to guess the number of people in America that have killed somebody and gotten away with it?
At least a couple thousand.
I kind of wonder if it's more. I would bet it's closer to like 100,000 or a million.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, you gotta also factor in the people who probably kidnap someone, drive off into the Nevada desert, dispose of the body, you know, almost stampede.
Whatever happened to that guy that killed Gabrielle Petito?
Oh, yeah, they found his remains.
Wait, remains?
Yeah, he died.
How'd he die?
They don't know, but his body was found. His remains were found.
Explain. I would like details.
He was like on a mountain or something like that. They searched the mountain, but suspiciously, guess who found him?
Oh.
His dad. His parents found the human remains. Of course, he was decomposed, so they couldn't verify it.
Oh, so now he's gonna get declared dead, so they'll stop looking for him.
Well, yeah, they did DNA testing on the bones.
Wait, so what's the story? So why did he kill the lady?
They don't know.
This is worse than House of Cards.
He took it with him to his grave.
This is worse than House of Cards. I want an answer.
My suspicion is that he just lost his temper one day, killed her. He came back thinking maybe if he ignored people, they wouldn't ask where Gabby was. Then the police and the media got involved. He ran off, and then he dispatched himself.
So how did he get on?
Or an alligator?
How did the parents know that he was on the mountain that he was on?
That's the thing. We don't know. Imagine you have spent millions of dollars for a search team. The parents get involved and they find him. Right? Suspicious as hell.
They called him on his cell phone.
But I don't feel, you know, it's like I feel bad for Gabby's family. I wish we knew why he killed her, but we'll never know.
And he's dead?
Yeah, he's dead. They found his bones.
How is he decomposed? It's barely been a month.
How long do you think it takes for a body to start decomposing? It only takes like 2 or 3 days. Bodies don't, you know, that's why bodies need to get embalmed or refrigerated. Either that or what happens is that, well, the first thing that happens when a person passes away is their body starts releasing fluids. So they'll pee themselves, they'll poop themselves, and then they'll start swelling up with gas.
Why gas?
The body starts to decompose. So it just kind of turns into like a little balloon. And then sometimes it, like, after a while, like, it starts, not, I don't want to say it explodes, but it starts putrefying. Yeah. So the body, when it starts filling up with gas and, like, the body looks all splotchy red and stuff like that, horrific stuff. And, yeah, depending on the climate, sometimes the body kind of looks like it mummifies. If it's in the outdoors, maybe scavengers eat them. And, yeah. I used to very much be into decomposing bodies at one point in my life.
You were into decomposing bodies?
Yeah, finding out more about it. Stages of death kind of thing.
What got you into this?
I wanted to know what happens to a body when a person passes away. Just so when I pass away, I know what will happen to me, you know? Will I, you know, what happens to a body? Like, it starts leaking fluids and things like that. It actually happens relatively quickly. So I think for Gabby Petito, her body was out in the wilderness for about 4 weeks, if I remember correctly. And they were able to date it based on the decomposition. And I was so curious. I was thinking, I really wish they're not going to do it, but I really wish I kind of knew how her body looked like, because how does a body that's been in the sun for 4 weeks look like? How do you assess it? Did scavengers come in and, you know, take the flesh off the bones, you know, worms, you know, that kind of stuff, all that stuff. I'm sure they kicked in. You know, if I passed away, I would like to be buried naturally. Just refrigerate me, put a sheet on me, wrap me up in a shroud, put me in a wicker casket, dig a hole, put the casket in the ground. No embalming fluid, none of that stuff.
I'm gonna bury you next to the M1 MacBook that you buy with my credit card.
No, whatever.
Doug Stamper style, baby.
No.
No.
No. Because I would like to naturally decompose. I don't want to have formaldehyde and embalming fluids. There's no point of me being presentable just for like 2 hours of service.
Why does it say carrying school children on it?
I don't know.
Is that going to make anybody less likely to be an asshole?
It makes people feel safer to put their children in that car. And I think natural is the way to go. I was reading before about green burials, how some people, they get buried at sea, their ashes are put into some kind of coral thingy-majiggy. They come out with this idea, they wanted to make this little cocoon of sorts. They put the body in there, they bury you 6 feet deep, and then they plant a tree on top of you. So, you know, you nourish the ground underneath the tree. And I thought that was kind of beautiful. You have a memory tree. Maybe for me, I'll have an apple tree. Who knows? I think that's a beautiful way of being buried. I have no desire to be cremated. I don't want to get cremated. I'm scared of that.
Why?
I don't want to be burned to a little crisp. It scares me.
Are you afraid because what if you can still feel it?
Maybe. Something like a sheep. If I become a zombie, I can get my way out of there. What?
You're not gonna want to be it. If you're a zombie, you're gonna be so ugly. You're not gonna have eyes in your eye sockets. Your skin's gonna be all wrinkled and disgusting. You'd rather be dead, trust me.
Nah, I'll be okay.
You really you're not gonna come. You're gonna look like the Mummy.
How do you know? I use face
When Dwayne
serum.
Johnson
Maybe I'll look
played
good.
Yeah, but all that stuff is not gonna last you once you're dead, Eric.
I don't know. I'm kidding, you guys. I do know. Yeah, so I know what I want. Buried in 100% cotton or silk.
Cotton?
Yeah, cotton, silk. Who knows if it's wintertime, maybe fur, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Cotton.
And I just decompose into the ground peacefully. Plant a tree above where or some flowers above where I'm buried, and that's it. Have a little stone that says here, you know, like my name and things like
Here
that.
lies the little troll.
What? Here lies a little troll? No, it would say, you know, blah, 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 you know, still holding GME. I kid you guys, I kid. I don't fear death. I don't. I look very much forward to life. I love being alive. I love seeing the world, kind of thing.
If you died and your stocks were given to somebody, would you want them to be sold or would you want them to be held until death?
Hold. Because I believe my stocks will appreciate. I don't want any weak hands holding my stuff. What? I would want my portfolio to be held, maybe reallocated if you know, heirs decide that kind of thing. But I would not want it to be sold because I would say I truly believe that one of the ways the richer get richer is because of the portfolio. And if my portfolio can help ensure the future of my loved ones having financial stability and doing what they want and knowing that, hey, in case anything happens, it's okay, they have a fail-safe. That's what I would want. But eventually, right, to cash out, you would have to sell holdings. I just don't have any desire to. I'll see what happens to my stock portfolio in like 50 years. We'll see. I think it's going to be up there. And I think I will have a very impressive portfolio. This is one of the reasons why I tell people, I said, try to cut down your spending, live frugally, invest your money. If I buy a purse today, that purse is not making me money. If I buy investments or stocks, there's a possibility that my investments will grow money and I can buy the purse with that money and then some. was telling Lewis, I said, imagine if you're an Apple shareholder, you're holding on to Apple stock, and your Apple stock makes you enough profit, so every so often you can sell your holdings if you want to buy another Apple stock. I mean, buy another Apple MacBook with your stock holdings. So you just invest into Apple, and then you get, whenever you decide to cash out, you can buy MacBooks. I told people in my channel, I said, if I ever have a kid, I would make sure the day my kid is born, they would have a stock portfolio. Because maybe, just maybe, when my kid turns 18, maybe their stock portfolio will grow enough that it gives them a cushion and they can do whatever they want in life and not have to worry about money so much. Louis, do you believe typically the rich only get richer?
No. A bunch of rich people. There's a lot of income mobility in the United States. A lot of rich people blow their money and go back to, there are lots of millionaires that go back to being 100,000-aires and even thousandaires again. Now, if you're in the billionaire to, like, you know, multi-billionaire range, you're probably not going to be a 1,000-aire again very soon. But there's a lot of income mobility in the U.S. There's a lot of people that blow their money and fuck it up.
Do you know what I would do if I was a billionaire, a multi-millionaire?
Control?
I would get a nice place, hire a landscaper, hire a housekeeper, and maybe hire a personal assistant. That's what I would do. Not like a 40-hour-a-week housekeeper or anything like that. And then I would have a lot of money into investments.
Now take exit 68 on the right.
You hear the noise that car is making? That Accord has so many things rubbing on it. Silverado. piece of plastic off of the mirror.
Why?
The car in front of me. Is that what your Toyota in Hawaii looks like? Little 2000?
No.
Oh my god, look at the back bumper.
No, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I kind of think that person just doesn't maintain their car because they said, oh, it's too fucking old anyway.
They probably paid $20 for that car.
Huh? Whoops, they cursed.
I have not missed a single exit.
By the way, if I had a car, I'd probably take my car to the car wash every week.
Why?
Just because I want my car to be pretty. If it's unlimited and it was nearby where I lived, I would bring my car. I would drive my car, and then if I felt like it was getting a little dirty, I'd be like, yeah, I'll just go to the car wash and pay $15 a month for unlimited anyway.
Erica is always convincing me not to use the car wash. Every time I go to get my car wash, she goes, no, why are you doing it? You're just going to drive it again.
No, waterless I'm okay with.
There's no such thing as a waterless car wash.
No, not what we call it? Is it brushless? My bad. Brushless. By the way, do you like my colors?
What colors?
What colors am I wearing today?
White?
And?
White?
No. What color is my bag? And my pants?
Oh, black.
Yeah, it's Oreo colors.
You look like a 1950s TV show.
I realize that Oreo has very classic colors, and going white and black is kind of fail-proof. It's nice. I like it.
Are you a Hampshire?
Hampshire.
Are you a Hampshire? Are you a hamster? Erica always says, I don't want to be a hamster.
You don't want to be a hamster.
If I say that Eric is cute, she says, no, hamsters are cute. I don't want to be a hamster.
You don't want to be a hamster.
And then when it came time to take the vaccine, Erica says, no, I don't want to be a hamster. And I said, you mean guinea pig? Yes.
Yeah.
Guinea pig. Guinea hamster.
Kitty. You know, I think it's sad when I look at these pictures of beautiful homes. When I was younger, I used to think, oh, everybody can afford a beautiful home. And then as I got older, I realized that home ownership is becoming less and less common.
The population increase in the United States and the number of homes going up in the United States does not add up. I'm clicking Erica. No clickety clickety.
I got it. I worry though, because eventually I feel like more and more people, they're gonna this is what I think is going to happen to the U.S. economy. People buy homes, landlords raise the price of the homes that they're renting out, right? And then people will be struggling even more so than they are now to pay rents. And then more and more people will get into debt. You're gonna have a lot more people getting into debt more often, in my opinion. I wonder how this holiday season will be for consumers. What's your speculation?
People buy less shit.
You think they will?
No, I think they'll talk about it, but they'll still buy shit. You know who you know who I'm talking about.
I do.
There are people that you will never stop buying shit.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how much debt is on their credit card. It doesn't matter how screwed they are financially. It doesn't matter if they don't have a savings fund.
Yeah, those people need to listen to Dave Ramsey.
There are certain people that will never stop spending money on shit to feel better. But I think, in spite of that, you're still going to have a lot of people that they don't have the ability to, so they're not going to. At some point, I think people are going to realize if inflation occurs, if their money is worth less, they're going to start saving more money instead of spending.
Debatable. Do you know what makes people feel like they have power over their situation?
What?
When they buy something when they buy things to splurge on. Things like, oh, I need to go to an expensive facialist. I need to go get my hair done. Yeah, estheticians. Those people, you know. I need to go buy an expensive watch, all that stuff. Oh, I've had a tough day. Let me buy some expensive shoes. Oh yeah, I want to treat myself. I'm gonna buy a pricey handbag. And yeah, it feels good. It feels good to get the nice stuff, but then you got to look at the end of it, right? How's your credit card bill look?
You see a 2001 Toyota Corolla in front of me. Every time I see that car, I think of you driving it.
There's nothing sexier to me than a car that's fully paid off in terms of possessions.
I agree.
So all the people who maybe feel insecure about their cars, maybe you have like me, 2001 Toyota Corolla, don't be, you know?
Erica still never finished paying it off.
Huh?
She used the money to pay it off to buy Tesla shares.
Oh, whatever, yeah. That car was like $2,900. Something like that. It wasn't very expensive at all. And it was used, obviously.
How many miles?
Last time I checked, it was like 60,000. Pretty low.
Not bad at all.
It was kept in a garage indoors, so you didn't have to worry about that stuff either.
How do you get 60,000 miles in Hawaii? The entire island's like 2 miles wide.
What the fuck? Hello? It's not 2 miles.
When you look at it on the map, it's literally a dot.
Oh my god, are you really gonna say that crap about my little island?
You call it your little island.
What? My island is not that small.
It's very tiny.
It's you know what? It's small compared to New York, okay?
I don't get how you do 60,000 miles unless you give it 50 years.
No, 15 miles at a time. 20 miles at a time, back and forth or so, you know?
It is the tiniest little island I've ever seen.
Yeah, you only stayed in Waikiki though.
I didn't stay in Waikiki.
You stayed in
Waikiki is rich person section.
Yeah, but you stayed around that area.
I stayed in the cockroach-filled Airbnb section.
Whatever. But yeah, like that's kind of thing, right? It's like depends how much you're driving. For me, I stay in Honolulu area, so there's not too much driving to do. And the person that I got the car was originally purchased from, they didn't do much driving either. So yeah, is it any wonder why the car didn't have many miles on it? No. So yeah, I like that car a lot. It isn't as nice as a BMW or a Lexus or an Audi, but it's paid off. And yes, my car has almost nothing inside of that car. It's always very clean.
I want to see you drive that. I almost want to buy you a 2001 white Toyota Corolla just for
Oh.
what is this bullshit road?
In 1 mile, take the US 5 North exit on the left.
It's a little aloha. It's a little aloha. It's a little aloha around the world. Can you imagine going 50 to 70 miles an hour on the bicycle on the highway? Why not?
It's too much.
I have to replace my back tire. By the way, look at that guy's rear back wheel there. You see it? Coco?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. Oh, jeez, that's kind of wonky.
That's very wonky. How would you tell if your car's doing that? Because you can't see it.
Now take
Like,
the
I can't
US
see my
5
wheels when I'm
North
using
exit on the left.
Step up. Car? Why are you in a lane that nobody else is in? I swear to Christ, this car is such a fucking troll. Fuck you, Autopilot. Fuck your phantom braking. A-L-O-H-A. Aloha in my day. Can I pee out the window?
No.
How are you supposed to do it then? Oh, what the fuck is this?
You know, I gotta say, to drive here
In 1
isn't that bad in
mile,
my
keep
opinion.
left to stay on Interstate
It's horrible. I mean, if you.
toward Boston.
Why do you say it's not bad?
Because it's not like you stopping in New York traffic every so often, you know?
Yeah, but it's still 4 hours.
You know?
4 hours is 4 hours.
You could always do a live stream. tell them not all Teslas are the same.
Now keep left to stay on Interstate 84 East.
By the way, what do you want to do for your birthday?
I don't celebrate.
You don't?
What did we do last year for my birthday?
I think we were in COVID, no? I forgot. A lot of things weren't.
I think who you ask, we're still in COVID. 5 years from now, people are going to be. Yeah, but 5 years from now, people are still going to be saying you're in COVID.
I remember one year we went out with Stephen Venera. Yeah, we should go out for your birthday. What do you think?
Do what?
Eat sushi, maybe. You gonna do that?
I feel like a douche celebrating my birthday.
Oh, why? It's your day.
Not really my day.
It is your day. It's the day that you came into this world.
It's the day that I was birthed out of the asshole of my mother.
Oh, whatever. Don't say that.
Technically, I was birthed out of the C-section.
Okay, so you came out of her stomach. Her uterus, my bad. Okay. Yeah, we should celebrate your birthday. Let's do that. KK?
What would I do on my birthday?
We'll go out to eat somewhere.
Strippers?
Oh, why do you want us to go strippers? Do you even like strippers? You don't?
No. I went to a strip club 11 or 12 years ago.
Okay.
Not for pleasure, it was for work.
Yeah.
I forget if it was the stereo system or a MacBook I was fixing there. And I finished it early, and I think I had a rate of like $75 or something for the hour. And I thought, listen, I'm not even done with, you can pay me less, I'm done in less than an hour, I just want to get out of here. Because it was so fucking depressing. It was very strange because you'd think if you're surrounded by women who are strippers that you're going to be aroused, but it's actually the exact opposite.
Why?
You could tell that they didn't like it. Well, firstly, you're around other dudes.
Okay.
I can't have a boner for a woman when I'm around other dudes that have a boner for the same woman. But more importantly, there's no personal connection. I didn't realize that. A big part of the boner is the personal connection. If you're watching porn, that's one thing. But when there's actual people in front of you, it has to be a personal connection, or else there's just nothing there. It's like there's nothing. But there was this one woman that was just walking over to each dude, and then she would just bend over, and then the guy sitting at the bar would go and grab her tit, and then she would bend over, and the next guy would do it.
Really?
And like, I've never been as flaccid in my life as I was in that strip club watching that entire experience.
Man.
And she went over to me, and like, I didn't even do it. It's like, yo, I'm here to fix. Like, I had my screwdrivers in my hand, and I think I was using an iron or something. I was using the bar counter as a place to work because I was under a light, and there was no light in this whole place. And I was doing my job, and like, she's like, no, I'm not here for that. She's like, you can, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to. And then she looked kind of sad because I didn't want to. She's like, well, why didn't you want it? And I didn't want it because it was just fucking depressing. It was a fucking horrible experience all around. Never again. If someone needs me to fix something at a strip club, they can take it to my office. But I don't do house calls anymore, so it's not really an issue. But it's highly depressing. Because you know that they don't want to be there. You know they don't want to be there.
Yeah, you want to know something that's highly depressing? So there's a YouTuber. I don't know if I should say her name or not, but she has 1.79 million subscribers. She has more subscribers than you.
Not for long.
But the thing is that she's been kind of a mess. And she's been known for this like Lolita thing. And she decided to make an OnlyFans but she has a drinking problem, and she's you know, she's on antidepressants and stuff. And I watched a video on her recently, and she looked so sad, so depressed. What's worse is that her YouTube following was built because of her looks, a combination of her looks and her persona. So if you are a female, especially on YouTube, where you have a lot of your subscribers because they think you're so pretty, you have every monetary interest to look after your looks, right? For whatever reason, it looks like one of her teeth is like dying. It's like black or gray now. And I came across it yesterday, and I thought to myself, man, I feel so bad for this woman. She's younger. I think she's about 30 years old. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But you would think that she must be raking in the money for having such a loyal fan base, but it looks like she's not. She's had to resort to doing you know what. And yeah, it was just very, very depressing.
Wait, she has 1.7 million subscribers, and she was forced to do what? She resorted to what?
And OnlyFans stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Why'd she do that for if she didn't want it?
Because she has a spending problem, it seems, and she has a drinking problem.
Spending problem? What's she spending?
I don't know, clothes. But she's not getting the views as much as she used to. She used to make a lot of views, and then when she started doing the OnlyFans stuff, her fan base went down. Also, she doesn't look like she's in great health at all. She looks like there's signs of an ED going on.
I don't understand OnlyFans as a concept. There's enough free porn on the internet to last a lifetime.
Yeah.
And now, if you may say, well, this adds in its low definition, but if you use Usenet, you can easily grab high definition or 4K or even 8K copies. 8K is a little going too far. You don't want to see like liquids and wrinkles and stuff that close up, and but like but there's so much free porn on the internet nowadays. Why would you pay for softcore porn?
Because it's not a random person, it's a person that they follow. You see, like
it's the connection, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
But you don't have a connection with that person.
Well, people feel like they have a connection with you just by watching videos.
Remember when Amaranth? I remember reading this article about Amaranth saying that she had a boyfriend or something, and then the mod. I forget what the mod said. It was something along the lines of, "Listen, you know, I've been a mod of yours for years, and when you had a convention." I know I didn't really know you, but I just thought, you know, maybe we talk a little bit, we have a conversation, you know, we just talk, we just shoot the shit about the stuff you talk about on stream. One thing leads to another, I don't know, but maybe that could have happened. And now I know it'll never happen.
Maybe.
But it's like, that wouldn't have ever happened to begin with. You have no relationship with her. None.
Yeah. That's what happens, you know, when you have people watching videos, you know? I know you know what I'm talking about. People who will be like, I know you so well, I feel a connection to you. I've been watching your videos since 2000 something, right? Unfortunately for you, a number of these people happen to be guys. But you know that stuff, right? Or like people who show up at your store and they want some individual time with you. What do you think about those people?
It's always weird.
Yeah.
But that's why I have you.
What?
I just toss you at them.
What? No.
Yeah, you're like my little cocoa missile.
No.
You're my grenade.
Go away. No, I'm not no grenade.
I toss you like a grenade. I pull the pin and then I toss the pin, and I pick the pin, and then I toss that.
No.
And I launch a hey at you.
You know, like some people, they don't even know who I am. So they'll be like, who the hell's this random chick? And I'm like, damn, really? Okay.
That never stops being funny.
And they're like, I only know one person off that YouTube channel.
Erica got so mad at me one time because this guy asked for a picture, and Erica said okay, and I moved you forward, and then he looked so disappointed. And I laughed, and Erica was mad. Because you're laughing because he doesn't want a picture with me. Like, he should want a picture with you.
No,
You're far cuter than I am.
he doesn't want a picture with me. He's like, why would I want a picture with her? I wanna have a picture where I don't have to crop out any other person. It's just me and my Lord and Savior. My repair Lord and Savior. I get it. I completely get it.
This is the halfway point of the trip.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
See, there's less time if I were to go to a place that's on the left side of New Hampshire versus the right, because it's closer to a straight line.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that the left side of New Hampshire is the one with, like, you know, you're planting your own food.
Real? Oh, jeez.
You're growing your own chicken.
You're growing your own chicken?
Growing your own salt. Growing your own peanut butter.
Jeez.
Planting your own yogurt.
No, you don't plant yogurt. People will listen to this and be like, man, this guy's really a city guy.
Yeah, you get your yogurt seeds, your chicken seeds, your salt seeds, your peanut butter seeds, your dressing seeds, and then you plant it all in your garden.
Something tells me 15-minute food delivery isn't here. I love that so much. I open an app, place an order, and then it comes to me within like 10 minutes downstairs.
Oh.
I love it.
You're a very spoiled little city girl.
I'm like, man, they need this in Hawaii. I'm like, man, I'm out of eggs. Dang, I better buy some eggs. Oh, I don't want to go outside. It's too cold.
It wouldn't be too cold in Florida.
What? You think so?
Yeah, then it's boiling all the time.
Yeah, then I'll be like, yeah, I need my food delivery because I don't want to go out. It's too hot. Oh, it's too hot. Like, I think everybody knows how much I love Fridge No More. And yeah, I asked the people, I asked the couriers, do you get paid well? And they say yes, they do. So I don't feel bad about using them at all. They get paid hourly plus tips.
Your communist neighbor disagrees with you.
Huh?
Your communist neighbor disagrees with you.
They get paid more than the people at the grocery store, I guarantee you that. And I'm willing to bet they get paid more than the guys at the bodega.
Everybody does, because they get paid below minimum wage off the books.
Yeah.
That's different. Look at the no-turn suit. I love the no-turn suit. Did you just make the noise too? One moment. Okay. 143 minutes and 30 seconds into the video. I have to remember that for later.
I was copying you.
I have to remember you finally made the noise. I got you to do it. 2.5 years. You did it on camera.
What? No. I copied you. You said it's nicer.
143 minutes and 30 seconds. I gotta remember that for later.
Huh?
You've been denying that you make that noise forever.
I don't make that noise. I was copying. So I was.
Do any of you watching have a significant other that makes a very specific noise that is specific to them and only to them?
Doesn't happen. You're imagining things, Lois. You're imagining things that my little noises now.
You obviously make a noise, Eric. And it goes.
It goes what? What does it go?
You're not gonna do it now.
What does it go? Tell me. Exactly.
When you first started doing that, did you even notice you were making it?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Eric's face is turning red. I wish we had a 360 camera.
Whatever.
Your cheeks
I don't know
are
what
growing.
you're talking about.
Your cheeks are growing.
My cheeks are not growing.
Your cheeks are growing.
No. I don't know what you're talking about. You need 847. It seems like your memory's going. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, rain. Oh, look, we have an umbrella. Beautiful.
Yeah, we have an umbrella.
Is gonna make me like $2.
So what? It's $2. It's like a can of cat food.
You gotta pick up pennies off the side of the road.
I do. I remember one of my professors at in Hawaii told me that they knew a person who was like a multi-millionaire, but whenever he would see a penny, he would pick it up. And the guy was a multi-millionaire, very, 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 very rich, very rich. I thought about it, I was like, dang. Now, I don't pick up every penny off the road kind of thing, but it just gave me some thoughts. But, oh no, it's raining. What?
I have a picture of an angry yard.
What? What picture? Take such weird picture of me.
Why you look so weird? How you blame
You
me
don't.
for
You
this?
you don't even tell me when you're gonna take a picture. I look like I'm like half awake or something like that, like mid-blink stuff. And what the worst thing is like you don't show my flattering pictures too often. You show my unflattering pictures more. And people are like, holy crap, this chick. I don't know why you don't show the flattering pictures of me.
What do you think of the on-hold guide that I sent you? Question mark.
You think he's looked through it yet?
No. Bro culture.
What they're alleging.
I don't know. Hard to tell. Is he bullshitting? Or is it time to set Patrick on fire again? Question mark. Eject passenger.
No.
Driver temperature synced to passenger. What does that mean? Can you Google that?
What?
Driver temperature synced to passenger.
It's probably the seat or something.
Like, there's no such thing as a different temperature for you and I. They can warm your seat.
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe it's the air.
Eli the cool guy has uploaded anything. Eli the RAR. Eli uploaded a 40-minute long RAR. You want to listen to Eli go RAR?
Oh, Kamala Harris. Remember, like a little over.
He hasn't had an under 10% dislike rate for a year.
Kamala Harris. Remember the CNN love Kamala Harris. From August 13th, 2020, Kamala Harris just showed why Biden chose her as his running mate. When Kamala Harris appeared with Joe Biden on Wednesday as his running mate for the first time, she showed why he had chosen her, gliding past President Donald Trump's sexist depictions of her as mean and nasty. The senator from California shredded Trump's White House record with the agility that comes from her years as a courtroom prosecutor, yet she delivered those critiques with bright notes of hope and optimism, accentuated by the smiles that are expected from female politicians. Quote, the president's mismanagement of... that's parcel of finery. Let me get my composure.
So Eli talks politics?
I'm gonna just say August 13th, 2020.
I thought he's Eli the computer guy.
The president's mismanagement of the pandemic has plunged us into the worst economic
He's Eli the guy.
Great Depression,
Eli the bro.
and we're experiencing a moral reckoning with racism and systemic injustice.
I don't know, I think it's dangerous talking about politics too much.
He already destroyed his channel with that, so he might as well finish driving it into the ground to make some money while he does it.
America is crying now.
How many views?
809.
Yes. Yes, we are. But anyways, yet we have a president who cares more about himself than people who elected him, said Harris, who abandoned her own bid for the White House less than a year ago before a single vote was cast. As someone who has presented my fair share of arguments in court, the case against Donald Trump and Mike Pence is open and shut. It was a first performance that showcased Harris's political deafness and why she will be a formidable adversary for Trump and Vice President Mike Pence this fall, both in her ability to connect with stories of average Americans struggling
Getting past on both sides.
and to throw a clean punch without fear of the ramifications.
That's it.
So that was a year ago. That was a year ago. This is from a day ago. This is from a day ago. From CNN, and now to be clear, and again, this is why I use particular news sources, is because, you know, if I use CNN for one thing and Breitbart for another, people talk about the editorial bias. But CNN here is talking about how Kamala Harris just showed why she was an amazing running mate, and then CNN here is talking about exasperation and dysfunction inside Kamala Harris's frustrating start as vice president. So where I come at this from, I don't think Kamala Harris is a good vice president. I didn't expect her to be a very good vice president, to be honest with you. It didn't seem like she was a great politician by and large. But my big issue with Kamala Harris was essentially that Biden came out and literally stated that she was a diversity hire, right? So I've been around a little while now, and I'm, you know, Gen Xer and all that kind of thing. And I remember the different vice presidents over the years, like Dan Quayle, right? Bush the first, Dan Quayle was supposed to be a breath of youth, right? So you have this old white guy, Dan Quayle was supposed to be the young white guy. Well, right, again, with Bush the second, you know, Bush the second came in, he did not have a lot of foreign policy experience, and so he brought in Cheney brought in foreign policy experience. Again, you had Obama's a young black guy, again, hadn't been in the legislature very long, the representatives very long, and so basically, you know, brings in Biden as the old-time political, you know, person that understands how the political game works. And so if you look at the vice presidents over the years, over my lifetime, there was a real business argument, right? There's a real logistical argument about why this vice president should be the vice president. Again, even if you hate Cheney, even if you think Cheney is Darth Vader incarnate, you grasp the concept of why Bush wanted Cheney. when Biden last year decided he was going to go look for a vice president, he basically stated in something like July of last year that he was going to put a black woman. There's an article, I wish you could find it again, literally from July of last year. It's narrowing down the black women. It was Stacey Abrams, Kamala Harris, Susan Rice. She was the Attorney General for a little while, and somebody else I completely and utterly forget. Like that was who he was narrowing it down. And the reason he was narrowing it down for that is because he needed a black person. He needed a black woman. Now think about this. Cheney was hired to be vice president because he was Darth Vader incarnate. Kamala Harris was hired to be vice president because she was a black woman. And this is one of the issues I get into again. We start talking about quotas and we start talking about forcing people into positions just because of their attributes, basically their identity. I think one of the big issues you run into in the real world is that when they actually get into the job, nobody actually wants them. They don't necessarily have the ability to do the job.
Who this? Hello. Hello.
Hello, Luis. Yeah, my name is Ben. And we process all service contract for all vehicles nationwide. Do you have any vehicles, sir, you think would benefit from a service policy?
Yes, I have a 1989 Ford Bronco. Cunt.
And then many times they don't have the wherewithal.
You see how he stumbled on his script?
The degree. This isn't being snarky. This isn't about being lazy or anything like that. They may not have the time. They may not realize how much time and energy goes into a 4-year degree. They may not have the financial resources. Again, when you're paying for your degree, you're paying for so many things. They may not have the final.
I want Liam Neeson to track those people down and torture them.
There are all of these reasons that you may not be able to complete college, but if you allow people in, you then allow them to take loans. You're not giving them grants, you're not giving them money, they're getting loans. They then get all of these loans, they get into school, they get 1, 2, 3 years through the program, and then they have to drop out because they weren't in a position to actually go through the program to begin with. And now all of a sudden, you have a disadvantaged person that does not have a degree, but does have a tremendous debt burden. You'd love to see progressive racism in action. Progressive structural racism in action. Allow people into school that do not have the wherewithal to most likely finish the program, load them up with debts, and then walk away with their addiction. Right? This is one of the problems that we're having right now. That's one of my big concerns. This is one of my big concerns with Biden when he was running. And basically, he chose Kamala Harris as she's a diversity hire. I mean, let's be absolutely clear. I was talking about her being a diversity hire last year, and it's only proof that she's a diversity hire, right? Because if you have somebody, if you have Darth Vader incarnate, you make sure to keep them around. You make sure that they stay busy, because you know if you have Darth Vader incarnate on the payroll, you gotta make sure they don't get up to anything too stupid, right? You actually respect them. Kamala Harris, if you notice, you know, for the first part of Biden's presidency, what the hell's been going on with her? Who the hell knows? She's barely around. She's barely saying anything. When she does say anything, she's flubbing it even worse than Biden. And it appears already things are coming apart at the seams. So Kamala Harris's approval rating is actually below Biden's right now. So Biden's is like around 41%. He has the worst approval rating other than Trump. And Kamala Harris's poll ratings are actually below that. But I think it's interesting to look at this. And again, this is my problem with diversity hires. Again, as I've always talked about, if I ever actually if I ever do get employees again, as I say, I will never hire black person. I will never hire black person. No. I will hire an engineer that happens to be African American. I will hire an instructor that happens to be transgender, whatever else. But the first part is you need to have somebody that's bringing valuable skills, valuable resources to the table so that you can actually use them to make your organization better. If you focus on the identity, what do you do with black? What do you do a training, right? An engineer that happens to be X, Y, or Z, that is a very valuable thing. But just the identity, right? And if you hire somebody just for the identity, you're going to run into a lot of problems. So it's exasperation and dysfunction. It's like Kamala Harris's frustrating start as vice president. Oh, how noble. How noble it is to be the first woman, African-American, Indian vice president to be ignored. I was, you know, my great-great-grandparents, they were ignored in the slums. And then my grandparents, they were ignored in the housing projects. And then my parents, they were ignored in the row house. But thankfully, as an African-American Indian woman of color who's finally got into the vice presidency, I can now say I have attained the highest heights of being ignored. So I saw all the white people out there, yes. Even if we get them into the vice president, we can still ignore them. We can still ignore them. Horrible, it's true. Worn out by what they see as entrenched dysfunction and lack of focus, Key West Wing aides have largely thrown up their hands at Vice President Kamala Harris and her staff, deciding there simply isn't time to deal with them right now. Holy hell. We just don't have time to deal with you right now. I just want to point this out. Even if we get them into the vice president, we can still ignore them. We can still ignore them. Horrible. True. Worn out by what they see as entrenched dysfunction and lack of focus, Key West Wing aides have largely thrown up their hands at Vice President Kamala Harris and her staff, deciding there simply isn't time to deal with them right now. Holy hell. We just don't have time to deal with you right now. I just want to point this out for all the people that actually believe the BLM. This guy doing it. Biden's staff is giving up on his own vice
Now
president.
take the Interstate 90 East exit on the right.
What?
Especially at a moment when
Did you
Joe
see what that
Biden
just
faces
did?
quickly multiplying legislative and political
literally
concerns.
swore,
The
and there's
exasperation
no
runs
danger.
both ways. Interviews with nearly
There's nothing in my
3,000
mirror.
former and current Harris aides, administration officials, Democratic operatives, donors, and outside advisors reveal a complex reality inside the White House. Many in the vice president's circle fume that she's not being adequately prepared or positioned, and instead is being sidelined. Well, yes, that's what happens with a diversity hire. You're black and you're a woman, you're in the position. Now go away and shut up. That's what you got hired for. The vice president herself has told several confidants she feels constrained in what she's able to do politically, and those around her remain wary of even hinting at future political ambitions, with Biden's team highly attuned to signs of disloyalty, particularly from the vice president. Yes, you can't have those black people being uppity or anything. This is just awesome. It is awesome to see the party that supposedly supports BLM be so racist. And again, this is where I talk about, like in the past, being one of the people that was helping rivet in, you know, the I-beams of structural racism. Is again, what you have to understand is that the people that are reinforcing the levees of structural racism many times are the ones that believe that they're helping the disadvantaged folks. Look, we got a POC woman into the vice presidency slot. We did our job. Yeah, but you can literally sideline the vice president and put her in a box. That doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well for everybody else. Anyways, she's a heartbeat away from the presidency now. She could be just a year away from
You're about to
launching
make a
president
clicky noise
campaign of her own, given doubts
like
throughout
Frank
the
Underwood.
world that Biden will actually
No click.
through with a re-election in 2024, something he's pledged to do publicly and privately. Or she'll be a critical validator in 3 years for a president trying to get the country to re-elect him to serve until he's 86. Cranky. Few of the insiders who spoke with CNN think she's being well prepared for whichever role it will be. Harris is struggling with a rocky relationship with some parts of the White House, while longtime supporters feel abandoned and see no coherent public sense of what she's done or been trying to do as vice president. Being the first woman and first woman of color in national elected office and historic, but has also come with outsized scrutiny and no forgiveness even for small errors. Yeah, even if she does pretty big errors, as she'll often point out. Defenders and people who care for Harris are getting frantic when they're annoyed some pass around a recent Onion story mocking her lack of more substantive work, one with the headline, quote, White House urges Kamala Harris to sit at computer all day in case emails come through. When they're depressed, they bat around the Aaron Sorkin-style rumor that Biden might try to replace her by nominating her to a Supreme Court vacancy. That chatter has already reached top levels of the Biden orbit, according to one person who's heard it. She's perceived to be in such a weak position that top Democrats in and outside Washington have begun to speculate privately, asking each other why the White House has allowed her to become so hobbled in public consciousness, at least as they see it. Well, the reason is she wasn't hired to do a job. She wasn't hired to do a job. She was hired to get checked off on a quota. We got a POC VP, woman VP, done. Oh, what's she supposed to do? Oh, you just sit over there. You just sit over there. Why don't you take your shoes off? Why don't you take your shoes off? Yeah, you know, once you have your shoes off, you know, it might be more comfortable if you take your socks off, too. And, yeah, you know, when you have your shoes and your socks off, you know, if you can just make everybody some sandwiches.
Oh, my goodness.
That would be lovely.
Eli, really,
so
you have to understand who he is as a human being to know that he's not that he is quoting somebody. He is paraphrasing somebody else who he's making fun of, not that he's actually saying that himself. And the thing is, look, I get what he's saying. It's just he goes off the deep end to the point where when he's explaining it, just enough to like piss everybody off who's on the edge and make them lose their minds. And that's why he gets like 1,000 views with 1 million subscribers. I get it. I completely get what he's saying. But the presentation style that he has, it is interesting to me. I will laugh in the car. I will agree with what he said. I think, again, she was hated in the primary. Remember the primary?
Yeah.
Who was it? The one from Hawaii?
Tulsi.
Tulsi Gabbard fucked Kamala Harris up big time.
I love Tulsi.
Yeah, like, she fucking destroyed Kamala Harris. Nobody wanted Kamala Harris. She was fake. She was phony. She was horrible.
She actually criticized Biden, too.
Yeah, I mean, she was bad.
I don't know why he chose her for me.
No, and that whole, like, that little girl on that bus was me. Oh, come on, that's acting. I mean, like, she was completely fake. Nobody wanted her, and then he picked her, and that was why. You check off a box, and you're less dangerous than Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard would have given him a piece of her mind.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard wouldn't just get in line. But he goes out of his way to just like he presses all the buttons. When he says something, he makes sure to explain it in a manner where he likes pressing your buttons, and I kind of like that about Eli.
You're one of a few.
I also like that it doesn't. He can shit on Biden, he can shit on Trump, he can shit on Pence, he can shit on Kamala Harris. He shits on everybody, and that's what I appreciate. It's equal opportunity shitting on. It's not like you listen to, like, you read the Ben Shapiro comment section or the Bo of the Fifth Column comment section, or like where you know what the people are gonna think before you even click on it. With Eli, like, you have to think. You don't really know what he's gonna think next, and you don't really know why and how he's gonna phrase the arguments that he phrases. It actually forces you to think a little bit. I've always appreciated that about him.
The next time the party's presidential nomination is open, but guessing who might want.
By the way, did he ever get his golden play button yet?
Nope, they never gave it to him.
What?
Because he makes content like this.
So what?
But he says, "Go sit over there and make a sandwich." Like, and they're not thinking when he says that he's paraphrasing what he finds to be racist virtue signalers in the Democratic Party. They think that he's saying that, and then he doesn't get his gold play button.
Ongoing insider parlor game, other politicians with their own presidential ambitions have started privately acknowledging that they are trying to figure out how to quietly lay the groundwork to run if and when Harris falters, as they think she might. With many sources speaking of conditioned anonymity to discuss the situation more frankly, they all tell roughly the same story. Harris's staff has repeatedly failed her and left her exposed, and her family members have often had an informal say within her office. Even some who have been asked for advice on Harris's overly cautious tendencies.
He started making videos in 2009. I think he joined and started uploading in 2000.
Every office she...
Who the fuck are you? Hello?
Hi, calling for Louis.
Who is this?
Louis, this is Paige.
Oh, hi.
Louis, I'm calling from the Vehicle Processing Center. I'm calling for your 2019 Tesla Model 3. How has the vehicle been doing lately, sir?
Oh, lovely. I think you have my model car wrong.
This is an electric car, right, sir?
No, you have the wrong model. And the problem is that when I give you the model of my car, you're going to hang up on me. You've always hung up on me without even saying goodbye, and it's very rude.
I'm sorry about that, sir, but it's the first time I'm calling you. Sir?
Ma'am.
Mr. Lewis, that I said, I'm sorry about that, but it's the first time I'm calling you, so I must apologize for any inconvenience or any problems that I may have caused, but it's the first time I'm calling you, sir.
No, I get calls from you every day. You ask me if I want a warranty, I tell you I have a 1989 Ford Bronco, and then you hang up on me.
Sir. Sir.
Hello?
I can't. This is fucking weird.
I would have.
Shirking his political duties to promote her and essentially setting her up to fail. Her fans are panicked and watching her poll numbers sink even lower than Biden's, worrying that even the base Democratic vote is starting to give up. Settling into an exhausted stalemate.
Next time they call, can I talk to them?
Out of the bitterness last month.
Wait, no. Help me with Zoom.
Secretary
Zoom. Now keep left toward Interstate 290 East.
Zoom. From.
In 500 feet, keep left to take Interstate 290 East toward Worcester.
Wondering why she didn't get similar coverage for any of the times she's been attacked by the right. And this is what I love, because you know, it's gotta get played. It's gotta get played. If you got a card, you gotta play the card. It's hard to miss the specific.
Now keep left to take Interstate 290 East.
To defend a white man. So yeah, that card's coming out.
In 1,000 feet, keep left to take Interstate 290 East toward Worcester.
Didn't want to take themselves, said former Harris aide reflecting conversations last month among several former aides and current allies. But Buttigieg, of course, isn't just a former 2020 Democratic primary rival. Many party insiders and suspicious
now keep left to take Interstate 290 East.
Democratic presidential nomination, whether that's in 2024 or 2028. I don't really know why. Nobody likes him either. Nobody liked Harris. Very few people like Harris. Very few people like Buttigieg. But, you know, that doesn't really matter. But again, what I find very interesting here, this is one of the problems too. Like we get into this world, when everything becomes about identity, everything becomes about social justice. Is you start cannibalizing each other. So now the guy who nominated her to be the vice president, they're coming out and saying basically the problem is that because she's a black woman, that's why she's not.
No.
Let me answer.
I don't want to. It's a waste of time.
Oh, it's... Okay.
Wait, honestly. Hello.
Hi, is this Lewis?
Yes.
Hi, Lewis. This is Jevin with Red Oak Apartments. How are you?
How are you?
Good. I'm just returning your call. You said that you were interested in a short-term lease in one of our Milford properties. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is this a good time to go over our availability, or did you need me to call you back at a different time?
Yeah, sure. That was fine.
No, okay. I just need to collect a little bit more information from you first. When were you looking to move in by?
Sometime over the next month to month and a half.
Okay. And then I know you said you're interested in a short-term lease. The shortest lease term we do offer is a 6-month lease. Are you looking for a 6-month lease, or are you looking for something shorter?
No, that's a little too long, I'm afraid.
Okay, yeah, unfortunately we only offer a 6-month lease. That's the shortest lease term we do offer at this time.
Oh, well, I guess that's about that then.
Okay, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
6 months isn't short.
That played into undeniable structural issues of race and gender. And again, what's interesting here is now they're blaming the reporters. So when the reporters are going after Trump incessantly, when reporters are going after Barron Trump for being autistic, that was A-okay. But if reporters now go after the vice president, that's bad. Quote, she's not only first woman vice president, but she's the first woman of color. This is a moment that has to succeed. Well, yeah, probably. Otherwise, we're fearful that this could set us back as women for a long time. Top advisors say privately they have come to regret that Harris didn't ask for more well-defined assignments coming into the administration. So again, this is where she said she did not have well-defined assignments coming into the administration because she was not hired to actually do work. Again, Darth Vader Cheney was hired to do work. We all knew why Darth Vader Cheney was the vice president. Again, with Biden, we knew why Biden was the vice president. Come in, make everything a little bit more relaxed. Say, hey, look, this isn't, the Black Panthers or whatever. If you look at the other vice presidents, they were hired to do specific work. The problem is when you hire somebody just for diversity, that's what you're hired for. You're not actually hired for work. The regret, she didn't have more well-defined assignments, which would have allowed her to distinguish herself. But the vice president herself has been reluctant to make demands for any at this point, feeling they would look disloyal to Biden. Quote, they're consistently sending her out there on losing issues in young situations for her skill set. Then there's a frequent complaint of a lack of follow-through from the vice president's office, such as on the southern border, when Fernando Garcia, executive director of Border Network for Human Rights, met with Harris during her first visit to El Paso, Texas this summer. He was optimistic about her potential influence on the immigration policy, but months later, Garcia says she disappeared. Quote, we haven't heard any substantive messaging pushed for better immigration policies, he told CNN. We haven't seen her leadership. And so this goes on and on and on and on. Oh, poor Kamala Harris. Do you remember when Kamala Harris, actually she always kind of looked the same. It's just Kamala Harris' face. I don't know. It's just so sad. It's like here, it's like, yes, finally, this is why she's the amazing running mate. This is why she's the crappy vice president. And so, I'll be curious to see what happens going into the future. Again, we've got another 3 and some odd years with Biden as the vice president, or Biden as the president. Again, theoretically, the idea with Biden, the reason that we were supposed to elect Biden is that he was such an amazing politician. He would be able to get both sides of the aisle to come together in order to actually do the things that this country needs. Again, as we've seen over his presidency so far, disaster as far as Afghanistan is concerned, disaster over COVID policy is concerned, disaster over economic policies is concerned. One thing after another, he's failing as a president. And then what's really curious is to see not only is he failing when he's dealing with Congress and everything else, but he's failing in just the basic relationship with his own vice president, right? Kamala Harris, like it or not, however you feel about Kamala Harris, just kind of put that inside for a second. Kamala Harris, right? When Biden dies, I'm not saying I was gonna die. When Biden dies, she will be president of the United States. That's the point of the vice president. And somebody as old, senile, demented, obviously, somebody who has issues such as Biden, the reality is he may kick the bucket at any second. And to see that he doesn't even have a good working relationship with his own vice president, it's just what is so utterly absurd right now with everything going on. And again, I think this is the problem with the Democratic Party, where they keep trying to tell people who we should want for office. Again, when Hillary Clinton ran for office, we were told it was her time. Not that it was a woman's time. Again, Tulsi Gabbard. I'd be very interested in Tulsi Gabbard. Hey, combat veteran who actually worked her way up. That sounds like a woman I could stand by, right? right? But we were told with Hillary Clinton, it was her time, not a woman's time. It's its own question mark, but simply her time. It is Hillary Clinton's time. Why is it Hillary Clinton's time? Because the Democratic Party sold out 20 years previous as far as the impeachment went against Hillary Clinton. And basically it appears that they told Hillary Clinton, hey, if you throw these other women under the bus, if you destroy the lives of other professional women in order to keep Bill Clinton afloat, we will give you the presidency. It is a good feminist. It's a good feminist. Hillary Clinton's like, wow. So all I have to do to get presidency is destroy all of these other professional women that my husband has abused? And then when it became to, actually get elected, she was shocked when, the country's like, no, that's not why we want a president. Again, with Biden, we have Trump throwing Biden in there, and again, like with Kamala Harris. Again, Susan wasn't, Condoleezza Rice. I think that would have been interesting. Again, like if politicians actually gave a damn about anything, wouldn't that have been interesting, right? Condoleezza Rice, that is a smart woman who's been in politics for a long time. What if Biden had picked Condoleezza Rice as a vice presidential candidate? That would have been a powerful thing. I would say Condoleezza Rice is a bit creepy. You ever see her talk about civilian casualties or whatever? It's that little smile on her face. You don't fuck with that. I know she's a bit creepy sometimes, but she has a lot going for her. I think there were a lot of other vice presidential picks that would have been good, but instead they just lined up and they decided, we're going to put somebody in here based off of identity, not whether or not they can actually do the job, not whether or not they can actually lead, not whether or not people actually want them, but how many check boxes do they fit? She's got Indian too, and her parents came from somewhere else, so it's foreign too, right? It's like, yeah, but she is not good. Even Biden appears to not think that she's a good pick. Biden's not really dealing with her. Right. I think this is the thing. This is one of the interesting things to be thinking about. Again, the whole idea of diversity hires and how damaging diversity hires can be, not just for the concept of the position that they're being hired for, but how damaging they can be for themselves. I remember this. There was research done a number of years ago, and it was looking at high-level African American professions, so doctors, lawyers, that type of thing. And it was interesting, like something I would not even thought about, but where they did not apply to jobs that were very specific about specific people wanted opportunity commission, right? Equal opportunity jobs. Basically, that a lot of these folks would not apply for jobs that very specifically talked about equal opportunity. And when they were asked why this was, is because these high-level professionals that have worked very hard to get to the level that they're at actually enjoyed what they were doing and wanted to get to the highest possible levels. What they were concerned about is whenever they see that little BBO stamp, is that they would essentially be tokens in the company. That you are a black lawyer, so you're black and you have the credential of being a lawyer, so therefore we're going to hire the black person. And this actually pushed away a lot of the people of color because they're like, no, I worked my ass off to get to this particular level. I don't want to be a token in the company that I'm going to be hired. And so this is one of the things, like I say, that I really got whenever I talk about the social justice things, is we need to be trying to figure out how to bring more people to the fold. We need to be advertising to a wider breadth of people so more people know that doors exist so that they're willing to come through the doors, right? That's the type of thing that you need to do. But if all of a sudden you start plopping people into these token positions, it's actually incredibly destructive for right? It's destructive to the institution because the institution is losing out of having a person that has resources that would be valuable for the institution. It's destructive to the person themselves, right? When you hire somebody just as being a token, and they really have worked their asses off to get to where they are. Again, we're not talking about you go to a warehouse, find a black person, you make them CEO. I know how much money I was making last week when I was in the warehouse. Maybe how much it was sitting in the chair watching 2 videos, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about really hard to actually get to the levels that are. And think about how destructive psychologically that is. Basically, just to slam them into a position, but you don't really care what they do. Again, I talked about this as a white guy. Again, a buddy of mine I talked about before, who was a security expert, worked for the agencies and all that kind of thing. And I was talking to him about when he got a job, it was like 20 years ago, and he was getting paid $250,000 a year. So he was a security expert, high-level security expert. Got this job, and I was like, wow, what's it like? And this is a white guy, right? Not racist, just a white guy. And I still remember the look on his face, like, you like play solitaire all day. So what do you mean you play solitaire all day? And since it was a federal contract, the contractor that got the contract, part of the contract is you needed people with specific credentials in order to get the contract. You didn't actually need people with those credentials to do work, but you needed them to get the contract. So he was hired at $250,000 a year to exist. And he said it was so destructive. He just went in every day and he did 8 hours of playing solitaire. Again, very smart, very capable, talented professional, getting paid a lot of money to play solitaire. He said it was just soul-sucking. Again, that's when you do a diversity hire and you don't actually care about their real skill sets. That's what you're doing. And then beyond that, then it destroys it in the larger context. Because when employees see that people are getting slotted into these positions simply because of their identity, not because of their skills or anything else, that destroys faith in the overall system. That's why simply doing a diversity hire, hiring off of identity, is bad all the way around. If everybody out there wants to show their kids a cautionary tale of how not to do diversity initiatives, fucking plaster this woman's face on their frickin' wall and say, hey, little Susie, little Tyrone, little whatever, you don't want to grow up to be Kamala Harris now, do you? You need to go to school and get good grades and then make sure you hang out with people that actually like you. Because the last thing in the world we want is to end up being like Kamala Harris. So anyways, what do you think about Kamala Harris? Oh, Biden, the old white man. Old white man just can't stop riveting in the I-beams to structural racism. That's the thing, right? When you've been building structural racism for your entire life, you're just gonna keep doing it. It's just muscle memory. Again, as I say, train how you're gonna fight. Train how you're gonna fight. The more you train, the more that's how you're gonna do it in the real world. So that's what you can see with Biden, right? He's just riveting in the structures of structural racism. They're reinforcing being structural racism. Because that's just not what he's always done. It's what he's always done. It's how it's always been. And so now even his vice president is being made to look a fool. What do you think about this? What do you think about Kamala Harris simply essentially being a diversity hire? What do you think about Biden essentially screaming to the world that Kamala Harris is a diversity hire? What do you think about all this disaster? What do you think about the disaster of the Biden presidency? And again, that's my question. Again, with COVID, we have so many important policy decisions that are going to affect all of us. Again, things like the COVID vaccine mandate. The COVID vaccine mandate, that hits all of us. Issues with inflation and supply chains and all that hits all of us. The way they're thinking about modifying the tax system, that hits all of us. And if he can't apparently even have a coherent conversation with his own vice presidents, what does that mean for the next 3 years? 3.5 years? Over 3 years? Put your thoughts down below. Again, as I always say, do remember my pride and joy is actually Silicon Valley. Verge. I am shaking my brain in nipples here, simply because it's what helps pay for Silicon Dungeon. But this is my pride and joy. Again, the idea is authority.
In 1 mile, take exit 26B on the left onto Interstate 495 north toward Lowell.
I'm building out this little PHP series right now, so it's PHP show series. The idea is it shows you how to actually build projects that more or less, actually do something useful. If they don't actually solve a problem, at least they simulate solving a problem, so you can really get an idea of, how to use technology in the real world. Again, one of the things that I think is really cool that I'm playing with right now is this is my little Dojo Derby vehicle. Oh, look at my little Dojo Derby vehicle, right? So this is a vehicle built with Raspberry Pi, right? It's got the wheels, it's got the webcam, all of that kind of stuff. I think it's really cool. This is the current interface for how to use it. And so I can now use my keyboard, and if I press different keys on the keyboard, it'll then move based on...
Now take exit 26B on the left.
You retarded car.
Pretty sound. So that exists. If you want to support Silicon Dojo, there's a link down below. If you want to throw in a couple of dollars.
Literally doesn't know how to stay in the lane that it's already in.
That would be a wonderful thing.
We're not talking about changing lanes. We're not talking about traffic around us. I don't have anybody behind me. There's one car, about 3 or 4 cars in front of me, and it loses its shit. Erica got woken up by her own trollery.
In 1 mile, take exit 35 ABC on the right toward US 3.
Why do they change all the names and numbers of the exits in Massachusetts?
I don't know.
It says 89, but map says 35. Up there it says 89. E. E.
Some of them is like, you know, they rename it, yeah? They say old one was this, the new one is
Now take exit 35 ABC on the right. Now take the ramp on the left toward US 3.
What?
In 1,000 feet, take exit 35 BC on the right onto US 3 north. Then take exit 35B on the right. Now take exit 35 BC on the right. In 500 feet, take exit 35B on the right onto US 3 north toward Nashua, New Hampshire. Now take exit 35B on the right.
Hampshire. Fine.
In 1,000 feet, keep left to take US 3 north toward Nashua, New Hampshire. Now keep left to take US 3 north. In 1,000 feet, keep left to take US 3 north toward Nashua, New Hampshire. Now keep left to take US 3 north.
Look at the sky. Look at the left versus the right, Eric. The left is blue and the right is...
Yeah.
The left looks like the skies if you're a Mr. Clinton owner, and the right looks like the skies if you're an Oreo owner.
Yeah.
Look at the leaves in the trees. It's so beautiful.
It's pretty. Ductless mini split experts over there.
What are you looking at?
Whole Foods.
Ductless mini split expert?
Oh no, there was an ad, billboard on your left. By the way, when we come back, can we take stops every so often?
Sure.
Because I know we're on a time crunch right now, but I don't like sitting 4 hours and 30 minutes without getting...
I honestly don't like it either. I kind of miss being able to take a pee. I should have taken a pee. So the moment I get out of there, before I see the apartment, I'm going to say, yo, I got to pee. They're going to say, what? You just got here. I say, yeah, man, but I got to pee.
5 minutes.
I like it how you get tired. You could yawn.
Yeah, it's like when I'm in a car, it's kind of like shaking a little, and then it kind of like lulls me to sleep. But you can feel the little vibrations under your foot, and it's just like relaxing. man. Can you imagine if you bring Ori over here? 4 hours.
In 1 mile, take exit 10 on the right onto Industrial Drive toward US 3. Now take exit 10 on the right.
There's this random white shit all over the road. It looks like the governor of New Hampshire just came out and came all over the place. You see it? Look.
Yeah. Oh. No idea what this stuff is. Maybe. Well, it's not white, it's reflective. It's like, whoa, it's rain.
Rain is not white.
In 500 feet, turn right onto Industrial Drive.
Is the rain here acid?
Oh.
When it rains in New Hampshire, does it
now
come
turn
out
right
as
onto
white?
Industrial Drive.
And if so, why? Why? Yeah, you see that? The rain, the water back there was white.
I wonder if it's just reflection.
No, is this like that shit in that area in Louisiana where they have all the oil companies there and they like they fuck up the water in the air and there's oily water that you drink?
Oh jeez.
That better not be what this is, Eric.
That place wasn't even cheap. That one area, remember?
Which one, Louisiana?
Yeah. You're looking at it. And
It wasn't cheap enough with regard to deal with
cancer.
Yeah, like because the cancer rates in that town are insane. Why is this giving me a black screen at 417?
In 500 feet, turn left onto Daniel
Probably has some
Webster
kind of
Highway.
light sensor.
Now turn left onto Daniel Webster Highway.
All right, time to turn off the camera, Erica. Let's see if she remembers how to turn off the camera.